Hello and welcome everybody back to Blue Otter Diamond League. We've got week 7 right on the horizon. I'm your host, Alk Battery. We're going to be joined by Omega Goober's Source Walker and Elysium Aries mid laner, Tough Daddy. Both of you want to thank you guys for coming on out. Wookie, thank you for making it to the show despite an entire hurricane destroying my motherland. So the thing is, the only time you're going to hear me speak very positively about Florida. So, Source Walker, how are we doing today?
I'm doing okay. What about you?
I'm okay. I had to rush home because I had to drop someone off like 45 minutes away from the house, so that was fun.
Nice.
Tough. How are we?
Not too bad, not too bad. Just worked. And
how are we
now
feeling
time
about
to rest.
our games this week?
Pretty good.
Okay. I mean, I know we were talking about this before, Source, but you guys are not going to be playing until forever. But
Wednesday,
you guys are Yep, you guys are going to be playing against TPF Tempest, and for Elysium, you're actually going to be the streamed match for this week. Again, 2 weeks in a row. The PayPal is absolutely flowing right now. We can just go ahead and kind of jump into power rankings just real quick, just because you guys are 2 new people onto the show. I haven't changed my power rankings since week 4, if I remember correctly, just because I want to keep them about the same and kind of show the progression of the league. Just real quick, I guess kind of the big thing for me is kind of the fall of Bois Clique. If either of you kind of have any ideas to what's been happening. I know last week they had a couple of subs, but they've had 3 weeks in a row where they haven't been able to pick up a series.
I think wasn't their strength of schedule the first 3 weeks like really easy though?
Yeah, so their strength of schedule at the beginning was Mars. That was week 1. Week 2 they go up against TPF Tempest, and then week 3 they're up against Akuma. So, you know, two of those weeks was taken by a top 3 team or top 4 team. Week 4 they did go up against trying to find it here. Oh, they went up against Final Boss. They actually took that series, so apologies for a misspeak on mine. But I mean, their last 2 weeks were not particularly difficult, I think. Well, they go up against Mars in the 4. Wait, did I? Oh, they went up against Kediment in week 1. Okay, that should have been a freebie. Okay, yeah, their strength of schedule is actually pretty fine for the first part of the week.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, so for you two, you guys have, I think both of your teams have already played, except obviously for you, Tough. Source, what do you think's going on with this team right now?
I don't know. I can't say, bro. They used 2 subs against us when we asked to reschedule, and then
this again.
And then their captain DM'd me like 2 days later saying, "Yo, can we reschedule to like another day?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll see you Thursday, bro." I just couldn't be bothered, bro.
The fries in the bag, dog. Like we're playing on Thursday.
Bro,
Nice.
I tried my best. I gave this guy like 5 days to reschedule to, and he said no to all of them.
Oh my god. All right. Well, I guess next week. Well, actually, next week we already have a bunch of people for Otter Talk. So hopefully week 9 we can get some representatives from GBC to, you know, calm down the flames. Maybe put out a PR response. Tough. These are your opponents for this week, so I kind of wanted to kind of flip it on you. How are the guys at Elysium feeling about not only their match today, but you know, going forward? We are in week 7, and you guys are starting to climb up in the standings. But
Yeah, I mean, going into tonight, I feel like we're really confident. We're coming off, 4-match win streak, I think. We've been pretty much unstoppable ever since we've been able to play with the 5 we wanted to play. The first 2 weeks were just so scuffed for us. Like we had 2 or 3 subs, both against like teams we like needed to like play with all of us, which is like Mars and Final Boss. So like there's really nothing you can do about that. But I mean, going into tonight, there's like no reason not to be confident. We've been playing really well as a team, getting better and better. And I mean, when I look at the names on their team, it's not like anything worth being worried about. So
respect. Amen. I respect the confidence. I kind of wanted to look a little bit at your strength of schedule going forward. Taking a look at it, you guys in your last 3 weeks, so today going against Bois Clique, next week you guys are going to be up against TPF Tempest, and then finishing off the season with an Akuma Sabres game. Talk to me, because right now you're in 5th place. You are currently battling alongside GBC for, that kind of last cutoff for playoffs. How confident are you guys feeling to kind of make that cutoff and make it into top 6?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty much 100% it already. I mean, especially after we win tonight. The real thing is trying to push up farther up. I feel like we might be able to crack top 4 or 3 if we went out here. So
Yeah. That'd be a really good buff. I mean, hey, making top 4 is awesome. You don't have to deal with a bunch of bullshit, and you're kind of chilling. I want to look at our bottom 4 teams before we kind of move on. I know we have vaguely the same teams, just in different orders: TPF, Art of War, Kediment, and XG. If there's any 4 of these, which ones do we think could make an upset? And if them, then against who? Like, who are we kind of kicking out of top 6? So, kind of going back to you, Tough, real quick. Who's a bottom 4 team that you see right now in your power rankings that you think could make a potential bump up, and who do you think that they're bumping out?
am I allowed to say no one?
Yeah, I mean, that's totally okay, but you gotta give me reasons. You gotta let the people know as to why,
I think
why you
the
think that's the
bottom
case.
4. I think the bottom 4 is so clearly the bottom 4 that like it's just the thing is like to bump up you have to like beat one of the top 6 teams, and I just don't see any of them beating any one of the top 6 like at all with the way they played. I think I've played almost all of them, and like it's like playing solo queue almost. Like it's not even like I'm playing comp. So
Okay. Fair play. Source, how are you feeling about, or do you have any strong feelings towards these bottom 4 teams, and if one of them could potentially make the run?
I think I'm pretty sure most of them are like 99% out. I just checked GBC's strength of schedule the last 2 weeks, and I'm pretty sure they're basically guaranteed to make top 6. And I don't think Final Boss like can possibly drop off either. So I think top 6 are basically locked.
Okay. Well, I mean, exciting for them, exciting for the top 6 teams. I'm very hopeful for TPF. I feel bad for them. I very early on called them as kind of like my soft dark horse to make it into top 6, and they've been showing improvement week on week, but I think with where they're at in their game and kind of the state of their standings, I think they may have missed the mark on one of the weeks. They got a really close series, I think, going up against Mars, but couldn't close out in game 3, unfortunately, last week. And it's a team that I really feel sad every time I watch them, not out of like pity, but more like, damn, they're so close. I feel like they're like 2 or 3 steps away from potentially being a really strong top 6 team, but unfortunately not able to really kind of put it together. Let's go ahead and kind of move on to our predictions for this week, just because we do have our games that are happening allegedly this week and today. So for those that do not know, first game up, we have TPF Tempest versus Omega Goobers. Do not look at this. Apparently mine is wrong. Mine is very wrong. Don't look at this. I submitted these earlier, and I don't know why this is wrong. So I'm going to blame someone that's not named me. So TPF Tempest and Omega Goobers, Bois, Clique, Elysium, Akuma Sabers versus Mars, Kediment versus Final Boss, and Art of War and XG. The best matchup of the week, definitely in that last spot there. Kind of since we do have an Omega representative, Source Walker, how are you feeling going up against TPF Tempest?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I haven't even done the scouting for this team because we okay, it's no flame. It's because we rescheduled to next week, bro.
Yeah,
it's not my fault.
That's
not my fault.
I know.
But
okay, so go.
But like I said, like I don't know if TPF can even make top 6 mathematically at this point. So I'm not too worried realistically. The only like match that I guess I'm looking forward to is week 8 versus Akuma. So.
Oh, I meant to ask this last week when we had Flame, but it just kind of we were having a little bit of fun here. What happened in the Elysium area series? Actually, since we have the both of you, this actually works. What happened in week 3? That was one of our big upsets early on into the season in week 3.
Lots of happy gaming.
Lots of happy gaming.
We may have given a Jinx a pentakill from what I remember.
Yes, you did. But most of that game, you were winning. Most of that game, you guys were winning.
Was Caleb still playing support at that time, or did we have Hooked? I don't even remember.
No, I think it was Naysayer. Yeah.
Week 3, I can check because I have the.
Let's not bring up bad memories. Let's move on.
Yeah, so you guys, so they had Naysayer in. There was yeah.
I think we move on. we all have our happy moments in life.
Yeah, I mean, I had to watch Flame play Ornn into Susurration Scion and sadly lose. Oh, I know why you guys lost this. I've been trying to spread this gospel, and I think maybe I need everybody to kind of bully their mid laners a little bit more, except for unless you're on Akuma. Stop picking Veigar. This champion is absolutely dog water. It doesn't work. You guys don't have, unfortunately, at this level of the league, no one can properly play around Veigar Cage and how to lane on Veigar, and it just, every time I see it, I instantly root for the enemy team because I just know they're gonna win in this league. So
what is the Veigar win rate this patch? Not in this patch, in this league. I need to know now.
It's probably 0. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I have not seen a single Veigar win.
Yeah, I refuse to touch that champion.
It's like 3 picks. It's like 3 picks and like 0 wins. I'm pretty sure. I can just real quick. Let me not spell this wrong. Yeah, there's 3 of them. Oh, wait, why is there 7 of them popular? People are banning Veigar, including you, Elysium Ares. What the heck?
Okay. Was that versus Mars's team, I assume?
I think so.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that, so I wasn't there.
There's another TPF Veigar, and it lost, I think. It did lose, yes, because it's just very woke. Kediment picked it and lost, but that's Kediment, so, you know. Okay, it's banned against Mars, fair. Picked by Mars and lost. So it's like 0 and 4, 0 and 5. Whatever.
You know what? We have all the playoffs to increase that.
Please don't do that to me. I have to watch all these games.
I swear,
I don't want to watch any more.
The champion is not that bad. We're just.
I agree. I love it.
I think it sucks.
No one in this league knows how to play with and around it. So I give up on you guys to play Veigar. Until someone can prove that they can properly play Veigar, I'm just gonna.
I hear that as a challenge.
All right. You forced my hand to play Veigar tonight.
Please, I'm already gonna be forced to watch 3 of your games today. Please don't make me.
So, Tough. All I'm gonna say is that after you win game 1, you know what you're looking in game 2, buddy.
Yep, I already know, man. God, why?
It's the auto loss anyway. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the auto loss on game 2. Okay, well. Moving on, GBC versus Elysium. We already kind of touched on this matchup, but GBC, obviously, I think I kind of want to see if they can make that bounce back, but this is I think one of our closest series coming in, and I'm really excited to see what we get from you guys. So obviously, good luck to both of the teams. Akuma, okay, we kind of have to have a talk at this point. Week 7, I know that a lot of people are saying, rightfully so, Akuma being the #1 seed, they're probably going to be winning the league. When does this team lose? How do we make this team lose? Because they haven't lost a single game yet. They've gone really close, and they're really towing the line on running it down in game and then winning. So how are we drafting a strategy to beat these guys? Because it just hasn't come through so far in the league.
I have a way. If you give Coffee Lilia, he'll be too distracted in game to actually play the game.
You're kind of spitting right now, actually.
I wish you didn't say that. I wish I didn't have to listen to that, man.
Someone can go clip that to Coffee, bro. On go.
Yep, I'm sure he might be watching. I'm sure someone on Akuma is watching because they're always asking to get on Otter Talk. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, we give them Lilia and Coffee's too distracted to actually properly jungle correctly. Who knows? So our next match, we have Final Boss Diamond versus Kediment. I was excited to see Kediment. I think that despite their record, their series in week 5 was kind of okay. I know that they've been going through a lot of roster changes, but they started looking pretty decent. Then come into week 6, they play up against XG. They take their first win of the season, their full series win. And I was kind of excited to see this roster. And now with Kediment picking up wins, do we think they are still the de facto worst team in the league, or are we giving that to like XG or Art of War? I'm giving it to Art of War, but that's just me.
Art of War.
Okay, I give it to old Art of War. I know a few of the faces on the Art of War roster, and I think they are massive upgrades. But the issue is that they have not played with their full new roster now, and it's too late to make an impact in the league, I think.
Yeah.
But I do, like, on paper, if you put them against the other, like, quote-unquote bottom 4 teams, I think they're probably like 8th or 9th instead of 10th.
Yeah, that's fair. Unfortunately, it's a little too late. I think the thing is that our bottom 4 are all 1 in 5, and the difference in points. So from 7th through 10th, TPF, Kediment, XG, Art of War It is 18, 18, 17, 16. They are all within at least 1 point or 2 points of each other, which is literally just playing like getting a 2-1 versus a 2-0. That is the difference you kind of make with your roster or your points. So if Kenman can continue to push, they actually might accidentally end up in 7th, despite kind of what the first part of the season was, which I think is really incredible, but also really disappointing for the bottom 6 teams, which I'm sure they wanted this league to be a little bit more competitive. But that also means we no longer have a winless team. So, small little flags out there for them. Our last game coming in for the week is going to be Art of War versus XG. Battle for 9th place, I have to imagine. I thought that their change to their roster was kind of exciting on the side of Art of War. I just think that the roster wasn't working at a certain point, even with Roster Mania going on 3 or 4 times over the last 6 weeks. So, Shadow. I like how the Shadow Government is the only person betting on Art of War, and Source, you just gave a reason as to why this team should be chilling. Well, what's going on with the XG votes?
I just believe more in XG. I know their players a little bit more, so I just have a little bit more faith. I will not bet against my GOAT Sir Jackson and Rover.
Okay, Sir Jackson did low key ruin one game on Vi, but that's, and also ghosted me when I asked for raffle files. So, Sir Jackson, let's get on that. Let's fix that. Real quick before we kind of move on, Final Boss Diamond, they've been a team that is, I don't want to say sliding through the standings, but they've been securely the 2nd place team. Your guys over at Omega Goobers took that spot away from them in the last week. Where do we think this team should be lying in terms of the standings? Because currently they're 3rd. They're tied with Marzion and Elysium Aries, but points-wise, they're at 29. So do we think that this is securely the 3rd place team, or are we feeling maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower? Tough?
I'm trying to see what the rest of their schedule looks like.
So, Final Boss, they play Kediment this week. Next week, they're going to be playing against Mars. And then week 9, they are playing against Omega Goobers.
I mean, they could fall down to 4th or 5th, possibly. That's kind of a rough end of the schedule.
I mean, this kind of just leads into the power rankings, which should be up next. So I think we just wait on that.
Yeah, if we can boot up our power rankings again real quick. We could just throw that back up on the screen. Yeah. So you guys both have them in 4th. I ranked them 2nd coming in. I think I put my power rankings in on week 2 and the only thing I changed was I moved. I think I moved Elysium Aries down, if I remember correctly. I don't remember. Keep it a stack. It's been 3 weeks. Wow. I mean, you guys have them at 4th. Is this where we're kind of feeling this team should be?
They're a 4th or 5th, like top 5 team, basically.
Okay. You think that they overperformed in the first half of the season, and their first half was pretty?
Wasn't there a strength of schedule week, first 2 weeks? Their jungle.
Yeah, they have. I mean, Elysium Aries week 1. That's a free win.
We have with the state of us in week 1, definitely. With the state.
Week 2, they went against XG. Week 3. Yeah, their strength of schedule, the first half, they just went versus the bottom 4 teams.
Okay. All right, fair play. So, got a lot of free layups, and then kind of built that into being able to build enough of a I guess a buffer to give yourselves time to kind of go into playoffs. Let's go into head-to-head, because we have our match, obviously, that we're gonna have to be talking about later tonight. We have Bois Clique versus Elysium. You can see their team stats there. Most important to me is kind of the difference in game time. This team, for the side of GBC, they don't play a ton of full best of 3 series. It's either 2-0s or kind of bust for this team. I'm trying to see what they're how often they're actually maybe I'm a wait.
Not
no,
us.
I'm the wrong team. Yeah.
We're scrappers.
Yeah. You guys love to go to game 3 for Elysium. I know we were talking about this before the show, but kind of what's the rundown, man? What's going on that you guys are since week 1, past week 1, you guys have been going to game 3 every single series, even against Kediment. Why? Why?
I
man?
mean, to be honest, we completely somehow fumble game 2 drafts every time. Like we give up something, or we don't have enough engage, or enough damage, etc., or peel, and we're just like, okay. But even like last week, we should have won game 2, and like we just trolled it. Like we are game 2 trollers, like through and through. But then like you see, like last week we played game 3, and we beat them like 30-3. So it's like I don't know. It's just game 2. Game 2 Elysium is just cursed. That's all I can say.
So let's talk about something that's maybe a little bit more recent. Game 2 last week. What happened? Like, was it a communications breakdown? Like, I know you're talking about it from draft. I personally think draft is obviously very important. However, you can always play a losing draft if you're better than your opponents.
What happened game 2, because I'm pretty sure we were up quite a bit. We had some like weird thing where we had like Jinx stuck bot, and then we like did this weird TP thing mid, and like a fight broke out, and we just lost really hard because our like fed Jinx wasn't there, and then it like snowballed out of control after that. It was just like team fight lost, team fight lost, team fight lost. So it was just like bad communication, and like someone just needed, I forgot like what happened, but someone needed to step up and be like, no, we do not go here. Instead, we were all just like, we'll see what happens. You know?
Yeah, every fight I kept telling Storm, who came onto the stream to play by play, and every fight was just, why are we not fighting with Dark Lord Oswald? Like, where's my Jinx? Like, my Jinx is just never at these fights, or like we're missing a number. Who would you say is kind of like a big voice on the team, if you guys have one? Like, who's kind of like leading the team?
It kind of alternates. It kind of depends on game states. Like, typically, I'd say it's probably Hooked. Hook's a really good shot caller, leader, etc. And same thing with Kill Switch is really good with like the first 15 minutes, as like most junglers are. He kind of like calls the shots first 15-20. And then usually when it gets to like the later portions is like when I step up. Usually that's when I'm strong, and like the game kind of needs to play around me or like Oswald, so that I kind of like navigate the team fights late game for us. But it kind of just like alternates a little bit between us three, I would say.
That's fair. And we were talking about it a little bit before, but like you guys did make a roster change. You guys have been kind of after your roster change. Like, what has been kind of the biggest difference coming in from that previous roster that was here with Naysayer, and now you guys have Hooked? Like,
well, we were supposed to have Hooked from the start. The issue is he had to play 140 ranked games in a month.
Oh my.
So he almost got there, and then he had to go on vacation for a week and a half.
Demon, Jesus.
So, yeah, it took him till week 4 until he finally had all the games played. And then Oswald was in a playoffs in another league that was on a Thursday night. And their playoff run, they were like in the middle of the playoff run while we were starting BOL. So we had to play with Oswald too for the first week. So it was just like, it was like scuffed, but we were like, I mean, even if we lose these first 2 weeks, it's not like we're out. We just gotta tighten up, right? And that's what ended up happening. We like, suffered the storm. And then now that we've been as a unit again, it's been, I mean, I'll say smooth sailing, even though it's been 2-1s across the board, but like the wins have been so good feeling and kind of easy that it like feels like, yeah, we're a really strong team, you know?
Nice. Well, I'm happy to hear, and obviously you guys are really surging in the back half of the split now, so got to be feeling confident going into the back half. We have our head-to-head here. I kind of wanted to pull up our 2 AD carries coming into the night, Nightmare and Dark Lord Oswald. I've been kind of impressed with Oswald, not in the sense of a like largely mechanical, but I think one of the more consistent AD carries that when I watch doesn't seem to die a whole lot, and always is, I think, for the most part, making sure that they're strong, making sure that they are not making mistakes, even if the rest of the team may be doing something else. And you can kind of see it somewhat reflected in the stats. Gold diff is not huge. CS differential is not massive. The big thing for me is average KP, especially when you're talking about AD carries. How involved are they in your team? I think GBC is a little bit of a different team because they are so led by their jungler and how Drid really wants to play, although they're bringing in someone new, so maybe that kind of shakes it up. Source, between these two teams, like what do you feel like is the strongest part of kind of their gameplay?
GBC,
Sure.
it's hard to say because in the match they played against me, I'm pretty sure they had 2 subs, so it's really hard to say when you remove like
Yeah.
40% of the roster. Let me actually open up the match history to make.
If anything, we can even talk about Elysium Ares and what you think they do well.
I think they teamfight pretty well is the big thing. I think that just comes with like what they tend to draft because Tough and I forget your top laners and IGN, by the way, but they tend to they just tend to pick like team fight damage dealers, and you almost always have like a kill switch on team fight utility, right? So it makes things like pretty simple. Like ease of execution in team fights is really huge in the MMR League, so I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. I'm excited to kind of see what you guys have as like your pocket picks coming into this week. As we're kind of closing out the show, I kind of wanted to turn the mic towards you two. Is there any subjects that maybe I missed or any flame that you guys wanted to get out there? Kind of any hot topics going out throughout Blue Water Diamond? Not all at once, guys. Not all at once, guys. It's okay.
Yeah.
We had flame last week. Same thing. Quiet as hell.
I think you went over. I think my hot take was that top 6 is already solidified, but I don't think that's really a hot take. But
yeah,
let me think of anything else. I don't know. I just think everything is like mostly set in stone. Like one team can swap one place with another, but realistically, what's most likely going to happen is that Okuma's going to get first, Omega's going to get second, and then it doesn't really matter what happens 33-6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh!
I mean, like,
continue, keep going.
I was gonna say, like, I believe we're gonna end up 3rd or 4th. We might have ended up higher if the first 2 weeks like played out differently, of course. But like being 3rd or 4th doesn't really change anything because I think you have the same matchup anyways, right? For playoffs for first round. So
3rd faces 6th, so you technically get a quote-unquote easier opponents. I'm pretty sure.
well, I mean, either way.
Rough. I forgot that we have not announced our players of the week for week 6. That's my bad. I totally forgot that we were supposed to kind of put that up. I will probably post that in Blue Water General. But if you see on the stream currently on your screens, we have our players of the week. Congratulations to Flame, Coffee, Midnight, Dark Lord Oswald, and Sun and Stars. I was like, I knew we were forgetting something, and I was like, damn, we got to get this in. And I think the more important part for me is in each of these games, I think I saw either something that was really impressive or, to be fair, I think I've said this every single week of Player of the Week, mid and support every single week is super hard to place. A lot of the mid laners don't do a ton and I think could do a lot more, and they just kind of coast by. And again, this is a league that is very jungle focused. What's up?
I went deathless 2 games. Come on.
Deathless doesn't mean, dude. Stats. Okay, I already got flamed by Vailder because he was like,
all right,
my
fine,
stats are insane.
I played against.
You gotta play the game well,
bro. I get it. I played against meta shit, bro. I
true,
get it.
true, dude. Like, what did you want me to do, bro? Like, literally, there was like, I think week 4 when we started doing this, I was like, damn, I kind of gave 2 awards to players that were going up against literally one of the worst teams in the league. Like, that's just. It's really good to look good against the 10th place team. And that's just how it goes. Flame, I want to specifically give out all of the champions you see there are the champions that I thought that they performed particularly well on. The Yone flex being available, I think, for Omega Goobers, I think is really, really strong. And Flame has been by far my favorite top laner to watch in the league. Coffee, despite the mouth on this guy, he puts up in game for the most part and absolutely ran the hell out of First Blood, Final Boss Diamond. They got absolutely owned by Coffee, so gotta give him his flowers there. Midnight's Hui was actually really, really well, did really, really well, had a kind of tough mid-jungle matchup to play, and was very resilient in the mid lane. Dark Lord Oswald, I think, again, it's that consistency for me. Their Kai'Sa, they did not have any Matt G Kai'Sa ultimates where they just instantly die after ulting. Also, Walt, I'm looking at you, brother. We have to talk about those Kai'Sa ults versus Akuma. Those are some Matt G level plays. I'm sorry. And Sun and Stars on the Alistar was great. But yeah, I think that's gonna kind of close out our show. Source, Tough, kind of coming to you for one last time. Any shout outs you want to do before we close out the show?
I'll shout out my entire team for letting me full clear every game. My My favorites. It
Good.
will be daily.
Yep, that's what I like to hear. As we said before the show, full clears will continue until lanes improve.
Oh, I gotta say this, bro.
Okay,
Dude,
give it
shout out to Coffee, bro, for sending that incredible video.
Oh,
last week.
true! For everybody that was part of Blue Water League, if you're in the Diamond League General, look in the server, in the general chat. There is a montage that Coffee did put together of their match versus final boss from week 1 when they were talking a little bit of smack about being the undisputed teams, that Akuma was going to be dog, and then they just got walked. They got absolutely walked last week, which is why I gave Coffee and Sun and Stars respectively their rewards. For Tough, any shout outs you wanted to do?
Of course, I would shout out my boys and, you know, Caleb, our owner. But in particular, I want to shout out Hooked. I cannot say it enough how incredible it is. You played 140 games in 3 weeks, so you could be eligible for the league. Like, that's actual GOAT stuff. And as we see, like, having you makes a huge difference. So I really appreciate it, bro.
Nice. Real quick, what's your 80 carries ad on Discord? Is it just Oswald? Okay, cool.
Oswald.
Yay! Awesome. Well, guys, we're going to take a small break. We're going to go and get my play-by-play in for the series. And when we're back, we're going to have Elysium Aries versus GBC, Source, and Tough. Thank you for being on the show. And Wookie, let's send it out. We'll be back with a break.
Good luck to all the teams playing.
Hello,
Welcome back,
everybody.
Oh, my bad.
Go ahead. No, you're good.
Welcome
you're good.
back, everybody, to another episode of Blue Otter Shows. This week we are in the Diamond Show. I am Glorsnax, joined by the ever famous Ulk Battery. How are you tonight?
I'm good. We had fun on Otter Talk, and that's kind of the most important part to me. We had Tough Daddy and Source on. They were a lot of fun. Source obviously having to go and play today here on Elysium Aries. So already we're kind of flying through pick and ban right now, but big ones for me that I think are the takeaways here are going to be that Syndra away from Tough and that immediate lock-in from GBC, the Yone that has just been terrorizing the Summoner's Rift.
Pros are picking him. Solo queue's picking him. They bought them again. The nerf is only his W shield. We will see Yone for a good while.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yep. Love this champion. Definitely. I had a ranked game the other day where we were playing, and this guy said, my team doesn't deserve to win, so he just AFK'd. He would like run down mid, press space, and just stop moving. He'd like S key and just give us a bunch of free kills. He was AFK for 8 minutes, came back and started actually playing, and we almost lost that game. And I'm like, hello? You can actually AFK on Yone and still win. This champion is busted. As we kind of move through, I was going to talk about our engaged junglers, as we do have kind of a new situation. Elysium Aries, obviously, their jungler, OP Kill Switch, has been really loving these teams fight support utility kind of junglers like the Amumu, like Sejuani. And I think a big takeaway, considering we have a new jungler stepping in for Bois' Clique, Rigor Mortis, played last week and we didn't get to see too much of him on the stream, but this week, Glarsax, I know we were talking about this before, we have some hidden tech coming in from yours truly.
Yeah. I played against this guy week 1 in Draft League. He picked Viego. He was 1-2-2, and then he was 12-3, and the game was over.
Oh. Hey, it sounds like Drid. I was wondering where we were kind of going to see this Bois Clique with a new roster in the jungle, just because, I mean, Drid is a very kind of big, I don't want to say voice, but a big influencer on how the game is played. Was a very farm style, definitely super aggressive. I remember his Hecarim in some of the early weeks. He really wanted to run over the league and would kind of put his team in some awkward positions, but was just so far ahead that it didn't really matter. So GBC now going for something that I know we were talking about before the show, but going for the Yone, which is now obviously going to be going into the top lane. We've got Hui here for Shanku, which personally I'm not a big fan of with what we've seen from him this regular season, and a Xin Zhao, something that can be very aggressive, and I kind of want to see what that looks like with their bottom lane support.
It's a bit of an interesting comp difference here as well, because the Wei doesn't really translate well with the Xin Zhao unless it's a full combo potential there, but it's really difficult, especially now with Emilio just insta-lock. Wow. Now you really are in a deep trouble because they have Amumu, Kog'Maw, Emilio. Like, their comp is very simple. It's a very easy to execute comp.
Yeah, and really the thing for Elysium, when you think about their composition, is obviously it buys so much time for someone like Kog'Maw, Amumu, that great lockdown, Emilio, just the entire champion, I think works so well with what Kog'Maw wants to try to achieve in a game. Bois, however, yes, they do have, like, obviously the Emilio is a big problem, but I do like the tools that they have. Hui can bypass the Emilio by just utilizing an extreme amount of range. Yone and Xin Zhao, if we do, you know, like pincer maneuvers, or if we're coming from two different angles, becomes very difficult for Emilio to actually stop both of them at the same time. And what I want to see from GBC is, you know, we were talking about a mismatch in the mid jungle here for them. If they want to use this Hui correctly, Hui is so easy at being able to get mid push by just using two of his abilities. He can move immediately, then he can use the water walkway to get faster into the jungle and look for invades. That's something that we would have expected coming out from Drid. We'll have to see if that's something that's coming out from Rigor Mortis. Coming into the second phase of bans though, huge focus on supports coming out from Elysium, recognizing if we just get rid of all of their engage options, there's really not a ton that GBC can do, because they have a lot of damage, but they don't have any frontliners really that can stop something like an Amumu.
What did we think about sending the Hui bot here potentially to deal with the Kog'Maw?
This champion in bottom lane is not okay. Now, ever since they nerfed 80 carry items, and even I think the patch before that, mages have been really broken in bottom lane for such a long time. I've kind of given up talking about it on the Blue Otter Diamond stream just because no one plays mages down bottom lane, but Hui is so difficult to try to deal with in the early game. A lot of AD carries don't have the same access to wave clear as a lot of mages do, and Hui's damage alongside his passive is really strong. So if there were ever a way for them to kind of throw a spanner in the works, I think this is really strong. Elysium taking away the Gnar, I think into Yone very, very susceptible. It means that they're going to be very strong in team fights, but the laning phase is going to be somewhere where I'm very, very worried for Elysium Ares.
Gragas? Wait, it's actually Huebot.
Okay, they've got the Gragas. It could be, we could see something with
It's
Seraphine that's being covered.
Seraphine.
Oh no. Okay, we gotta wait for the
Oh.
hover. We gotta wait for them. You know, hovers can be baits. Hovers can be huge baits. I think the
they're not
interesting thing
baiting.
for me was the Mordekaiser ban coming out from GBC. I think that was one of their ways of being able to kind of attack Elysium and take away something, one of their frontline pieces, maybe like the Amumu or like the Gnar in this instance. So we're kind of seeing those last second hovers. It's gonna get locked in. The Seraphine here for Grown Boys Clique moving in. Have to imagine Gragas top going up against Gnar, not a bad matchup. Yone mid, Elysium Ares, what is your counter pick? You've been putting Tough Daddy on mostly control mages. I don't think there's been a very many champions that we've seen that have a great matchup spread going into Yone, unless he wants to pick up a first-time Renekton or the like.
Oh, asking you shall receive for the mage's bot lane, and you get exactly what you wanted. It's Hui, Seraphine bot, Gragas top, Yone versus Galio. Now, this is actually a very infamous matchup for Galio because, surprisingly, the AP shield does not work very well against the Yone in the later stages of the game. So
who would have thought Galio is not a strong side laner? No one can see
this is a bit of an interesting comp. Elysium does have the much easier comp. They have a very easy way to get vision and dominate space around, let's say, the choke points of Dragon and Baron, especially the one Baron where it's just the two side lanes of it. But just because you could dominate the space very easily doesn't mean it's very easy backline access guaranteed all the time. Because Xin Zhao, one good Crescent ult, and he disrupts a lot of your team fighting goals. Gragas is also there as the meat shield as well, and the Seraphine for the re-engage with the Yone. And Hui is just playing 8 screens back.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of love the style that they've built it, especially with how many melees they have. Hui and Seraphine love to work with this many melees, right? You have the Yone that you can empower, the Xin Zhao, the Gragas. All of these champions can kind of walk forward. Elysium, that answer that we were talking about, going into choke points, talking about setting up around objectives. You have great team fighting. I'm just kind of worried about some of the damage that might come through later into the game, and who's going to be side laning if they don't have an overwhelming advantage. We do expect this game to be hitting, you know, those 2 or 3 item marks on Kog'Maw, and at that point, we're going to have a Yone who's maybe 2.5 items and is really strong on side lane. Galio is not really a champion that's known to match. Galio has been getting, you know, some systemic buffs to kind of move him more into a anti-mage tank. But right now, he has a lot of strong wave clear with the Winds of War and his passive. So I'm interested to see how Elysium can kind of pilot this, as I think right now GBC have the overwhelming range advantage. And I think with the composition that they've kind of built around this 3-core that we saw at the beginning of the draft, they've put themselves in, I think, a very strong spot to try to win game 1 here.
I really just don't know. I see your point, but like the mentality of me is screaming that what does Gnar do this game if he falls behind once? Right?
I'm saying,
because
Gnar's never going to match.
Volatile.
Gnar can't match on side lane versus, it doesn't matter if it's Yone, if Gragas early, you know, we see him with Xin Zhao being able to path top. That could be something. I don't think you're ever worried about pathing bottom lane as a jungler for if you are playing on GBC. If you are going bottom lane, it's most likely to cover. So I think there's a lot of questions that GBC are asking, and we'll see if Elysium Ares have the answers, or the correct answers for them.
I mean, it could be fair. It depends on which Kog'Maw we see. Do we see AP Kog'Maw, or do we see normal Kog'Maw?
If it's AP Kog'Maw, we can just go ahead and report the AD carry. It's fine.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
have you not seen AP Kog'Maw?
I have seen AP Kog'Maw. I just don't think it's going to be... Okay. I can see a world. I think you can make an argument for AP Kog'Maw this game if he's going to be picking up something like a Zhonya's Hourglass, which is still available on AD Kog'Maw. I'm just... Versus something like a Xin Zhao, you typically really want to eliminate that range advantage and get on top of him. And up against Emilio, I think it's going to be pretty hard in that instance. So rather just let the frontliners that Elysium have allow Kog'Maw to rip through the rest of the team instead of trying to wait for utilizing your ultimates and all that. I think there's a lot of conditionals if we're going to be going for AP Kog'Maw. And, you know, on hit, regular Kog'Maw can just check in a random Zonia's thanks to his AP scalings.
True. You could also go Jack Show as well.
True, exactly. He has a lot of options. I just don't know how many options he's gonna have in this game. There's a Yone diving him. There's Gragas Barrel. There's Seraphine. There's Sway. All of these champions, if I was playing AD carry, is a nightmare. Just playing regular or AD carries that don't have more traditional forms of mobility, like a dash, like a blink. Very difficult to try to play against Yone, and that's why we see him kind of pick or ban. So. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting ready. We have the last couple seconds of our pick ban. I kind of want to use the last like 20 or 30 seconds, Glorsax. Tell us a little bit more about Rigor Mortis.
Okay, so this guy is a type of jungler where he is a self-sustaining jungler from what I've seen. He will always just go ahead and push himself ahead, and he will wait for decent wave states to go for these aggressive plays. So I really like the Gragas itself, and the Hui is able to help him push it. I think the 2v2 is weaker. I think Amumu Galio does do more damage than Hui Xin early game, because it's all carried by Xin early game. But I do think that with his timings as well, I think it's a 6 grub game super easily. I think you trade 1 or 2 dragons for it, and I really don't think like you are like unhappy with that trade.
Yeah, I think that's a really good and kind of reasonable stance to have. We're going to kick it to a small delay as we kind of wait for a spectator to go down. And when we're back, we're going to have game 1 of Grown Boys Clique versus Elysium Ares. Won't want to go anywhere.
Welcome
And
back
we're back. There
to
we
the
go.
action. Yeah, I was waiting for you to do it since I took the thunder from you this first time.
You're good. I only did it because I didn't know we didn't talk about this. That's my bad. I made a new mistake. But we're getting a traditional 5-point out from both of these teams. I think to be expected. And for us, this is going to be a very big show for GBC because we do expect them compositionally to have some really strong advantages coming into this game. And for Elysium Aries, they're a team that is on a very big win streak. 4 weeks in a row, which is very dominant. Only one that's kind of matching them right now is Akuma, who are completely undefeated in the league. But if they want to make that push, they're a team. These are two teams that we're expecting to make playoffs. That they are our top 6, one of our top 6 teams, both of them. But GBC on a little bit of a slide down. Elysium are obviously ramping up really, really well into the back half of the split. This match would even them up. If GBC wins, it would even them up, at least in series score. Points would be a little bit of a different matter, but we don't have to worry about that until we get a little bit closer to, the last Nexus exploding.
A bit of an interesting play here. Actually going with the tier versus a Gnar, which I really don't like. I think you take the grass, you take second wind, and you take D-shield, and you just don't die. You just actually become the immortal one.
Yeah, so he does have second wind. I think the change here for the kind of Gragas, but what is 99 doing? He's just in there. Okay, he gets the W proc with his auto. The thing for me when I see this is because they've kind of taken a lot of the sustain out of Gragas' kit, whether that's attacking his mana costs or just reducing the flat healing that he receives from his passive, I think the tier is actually kind of fine. I mean, it allows him to get closer to building Fimbulwinter, which currently is looking like one of the more premier tank items if you're not able to build something like Serix, which I think is perfectly fine and seems like it's getting stronger. Susurration, though, gets the level 2 advantage, just runs him down.
Okay. Oh, that's one of the issues with going tier early. While the D-shield the tier is needed for the sustain of it, I think you take D-shield and then you first back for that tier, as it's very hard now with the Gragas nerfs, like you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe he's waiting for, playing on third wave when his jungler is going to be here. We have both junglers up. Susurration.
Is it a solo? Nope. Okay.
All right, so we had an over-under coming into this game. Since we don't have a ton of action, both junglers are pathing towards top. OP Killswitch pathing towards top to try to protect his Gnar and see what they can do top side if they're going to be able to crash on the next wave coming in. And Xin Zhao going towards his bottom lane. I don't know how much action he's going to be able to get done as this Xin Zhao, and we kind of do want to see him get a little bit done early on to set up his lanes. They do have some strong lanes, but obviously you're going up against an Amumu, you kind of want to see if you can get stuff done before he's able to finish a couple of items.
Okay. The Gnar just... okay. Gnar just stood in the Gragas queue, waited for it to fully charge, and then said, "Thank you, kind sir."
It's actually to really get more value out of the biscuit. He wants to use it right now.
I did not realize Gentleman Gnar was in this game.
Yep, he's a true spokesperson for top lane trades. But now we're kind of seeing both of our junglers not only get into finishing off the scuttle, but more so getting vision onto the enemy side jungle, seeing where they are, seeing what camps they've taken. Okay, hey, his top side camps are gone. Hey, this guy's bottom camps are gone. He has to be on the top side of that, play really, really safe. And for the time being, there'll be a small advantage here for OP Killswitch as they got their recall off just a little bit faster. But for the time being, everything is standard. We're not seeing too much. We're seeing some laners TP back into their lanes. Nutty Nate, despite some of the hesitations we had towards this build, is kind of keeping even in farm right now, although this wave is looking to bounce back towards Susurration. I think this is perfectly fine if you're on the side of GBC.
Bit of a bad trade up top, though, as Gnar is just constantly getting all these better the trades for this Gragas. It's fine for the early-ish game. I just think it becomes slowly more problematic if the Gragas doesn't start to respect. Oh?
Gragas?
Like that.
Okay, so Gragas, what he can do, so because Gnar took a lot of damage there from the minions are being focused in a specific way.
Oh, no.
Nutty Nate? Flash? Huh?
Oh my god!
All he had to do was wait for his jungler, and Rigamortis was on vision this entire time when he was finishing the Gromp.
Oh?
Does he land? Wind Become Lightning? Dodged out by Flash. Damn, he's just got it like that. All right.
I did
And
not
look at the
believe you when you said that earlier, but
Look at the top wave. Look at the top wave. It's so doomed.
and it is completely shoving it to Nars. Oh no!
Oh, it's a horror. It's a horror. I was talking. Look, I put a lot of disrespect on Susurration's name. I think I maybe got a little bit ahead of myself. Most of it came from his Smolder play. Watching him play Smolder was infuriating. Watching him play Nautilus top lane. Oh wait, mid lane? Shanku?
He's fine. He's fine. We flash those.
Yeah. He got out of there. Susurration has a lot of games where I feel like he doesn't have proper impact, or he doesn't play with a lot of respect in enemy jungle, and when in isolation, Nutty Nate has just been getting taken advantage of. I mean, we're talking about this matchup supposed to be a one that if you are Gragas, you're looking forward to. You're saying, okay, fine, I can get kill pressure when I have level 6. With my jungler, I could try to poke him out and sustain through the lane. Susurration might just get a solo kill here. He has ultimate.
Oh no!
Outside. Oh.
Actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah, and Amumu even gets to start Grump here, or gets to start the Grubs here, which is really, really strong. This is something we were talking about from draft, which was, hey,
This
trade
is
your
so
2
bad.
dragons and just play for, you know, that you have 6 Grubs, you have a strong side laner, and that's just not happening here. Because Susurration is winning in top lane, it makes it so much more harder for them to actually walk in and contest for this objective.
Okay, so the reason he's taunting like that is because Nart did. Whoa! Gragas ease forward! That I feel like that's not the play you do! Are you just gonna get soloed again?
Oh! Okay, so the kill goes back, but we look at the top wave. It's about to crash here. Even OP Killswitch is going to come here to make sure that the wave gets under the turret. Nutty Nate is out of the game. We're just going to say, Gragas, at this point, all you're doing for the rest of the game is pressing ult on enemy bot lane. That's it.
What is my Gragas doing? Yeah, okay, we have a invade bot side here with Rigamorgus, knows that the Mumu is top side. Like I was saying earlier, the Gnar did miss his Gnar ulti against the Gragas. He did predict it with his E, which is why he was taunting. I guess instead of taunting, he could've, shoulda, woulda focused on the fact that he was getting ran down and not respecting the jump combo.
This is now, 2 weeks in a row that we've been able to watch, or not 2 weeks in a row, but 2 weeks where we've now seen that kind of Nutty Nate get taken advantage of in the laning phase, and really problematic, especially when we see OP Killswitch here on the Amumu, which we've seen time and time again from a lot of our top junglers, or a lot of the junglers that are currently not on Akuma, kind of pick up and really use. Now has not only a farm advantage, but has also picked up those grubs. Again, really big focus for this GBC team is whether or not they can actually get to the point where they can either outrange Kog'Maw or play for side lanes. And it looks like now they're going to try and make this dive. Amumu and Galio are on their way bottom lane.
Really good tempo here as well for the Amumu. He is up a ton of camps, and this could be a very easy kill. Does miss the first. Will flash onto the Seraphine. Goes again. Seraphine will not fall. Just able to use the flash properly. A lot of trade back damage. And no Galio heroic stand used.
Wow. Heroic entrance just not even available. That's just going to be a kind of a big win for GBC. Really just trading Seraphine's flash and heal, which if they're able to make a replay onto this bot lane, maybe that's something. But as is, I'll take free Amumu flash and ultimate for us not even very much losing anything. I mean, Nightmare used a lot of his abilities and still got push in the lane, which is very, very good for this. You want to make sure that Kog'Maw is suffering under his turret and having to fight for CF.
Oh, he actually gets the hit on it. Does miss the body slam. Gnar,
wait, he's gonna lose this.
The bar. Oh my god, Gnar is so close. It's at like 95. He won't get it.
Okay, but Nutty Nate can make the re-engage here. Okay, so he's going to gain HP from the transformation. Nutty Nate can stop this if he's able to land the body slam. This is just 2 top laners right now, really just kind of fencing each other, just trying to look for small advantages. Nutty Nate in a very big deficit, but still finding ways of getting back into the game versus Susurration.
This is also another interesting tidbit. Amumu is the second highest CS in this game.
And he's already finished an unending Hollow Radiance. So
Amumu
very strong at 10 minutes.
Very, very strong. Gets exactly what you need. Rigor Mortis not able to really push any of his tempo just because of how the lanes have fared for themselves.
We're making a
wait a
top play
second.
here. We were
Freeze
making a top
up?
play with 30 seconds before before the grub spawn. I love this focus. Just move their bottom lane out. Nightmare's already pushing in this bottom wave, so they've moved their support in first. Big thing for me is Nahor having that ultimate. Having the ability to use the Seraphine Encore is going to be a big game changer when we look at how short-ranged a lot of the members here are for the side of Elysium Ares.
This could potentially be a big fight. Yone did have to TP mid, so now it is a numbers advantage for Elysium.
Oh, and,
these-
okay, so not only did he do the TP, right, we also see that now Nightmare has moved. It's a numbers advantage now. They've traded the summoner spells. They're saying, okay, look, we got pressure in bottom lane. Now let's move that, move them into mid. Instead of having Yone miss out on mid farm, just have him push in another wave. That's another wave missed here by Tough Daddy. And I think the big plan here was both teams are trying to joust for whether or not they could wait for their top laner to have TP again. Because if Gnar has TP again, he comes back with full HP, can get the Rage Bar. That's just not the case. It's going to be a 3-3 split for Grubs, and kind of, I think, a very big advantage here for the side of GBC is now they were able to get those Grubs. They're also able to still get farm onto two of their carries, Shanku and Nightmare.
Unfortunately, that is board completed for Kog'Maw when he does decide to reset, but he won't be able to reset in time as Amumu is caught trying to steal the Raptors.
Okay. Nahor just aiming the Seraphine E for Wookiee Monster, our producer. Happens. You know, I
there was a
also...
Seraphine E outside my window.
Yeah, there you go. That's basically a nickname for Milton. So we've got Nightmare who can just constantly stay bottom lane here. This is a really big point of the game where we need to see Rigor Mortis and Nahor actually get a lot done. Because right now what's happening is you're denying Seraphine gold and experience, which isn't a huge deal when you're in support, but Seraphine definitely very strong with levels. And they just want to take control of mid and then look to move into Dragon.
Oh, wait a second. We're going to get the flash in again from Amumu. Actually just holds on to the ultimate the entire time. Now that they go in,
There
it's a
it
triple combo. And they will get Rigor Mortis. Oh, just
Shanku almost goes down.
Oh, yes, the flash.
So close, so close. But that's a flash. I mean, Shanku just does no damage, right? We just saw like the Amumu, the fact that he has the Hollow Radiance so early on, big tank stats available for this tank jungler, and didn't even have the flash. Just, you know, kind of had it, was waiting on cooldown. Utilizes the ultimate, still not even using the grand entrance or the heroic entrance. So it just means that they win a big team fight. They take the kills, and now they can move into this dragon for free. It should be a pretty tough steal to ask for coming out from the bottom lane.
Oh no, is Nutty Nate dead again? Oh, that's another proc. He has on vision the entire time. Can he hit the
Jungler's
boomerang?
here.
Oh, but Rigor Mortis is here, the flash!
There it is. He lands it. Didn't even need the ultimate. Susurration gets taken down. Didn't play with respect to that jungler, and Rigor Mortis immediately after dying mid runs towards the top lane just to finish off his camps. But hey, he's like, I'm in the area. Might as well just pick up ourselves another assist. So Nutty Nate, I think, in a perfectly fine spot. He's also even closer now to finishing off his tier item. Doesn't even need to actually complete it. You can actually just kind of sit on this item and keep going into more of your other items. I think that's kind of the wonderful part about tier, and maybe why it's one of the more stronger component items in the entire game. But as for right now, I still like Elysium Ares' chances in this game. They have been showing more and more of how much damage they're able to do, and really I think the more important part for me is how far ahead this Amumu is. It is so difficult when not only are you even, but when there's an unkillable tank on the enemy team, that becomes very difficult to deal with. Someone who has so much lockdown, like Amumu.
Especially just 30 CS up, constantly getting out as much pressure as possible. Now Gnar bot lane just switching over here to relieve pressure for Kog'Maw. We have Rifthild coming up, which now you already have your bot lane here. You have to go for this Gnar dive in order to make it even worth, but... Oh, here we go,
Galio
actually.
could be in range, does have the ultimate if he needs it, and really well played by Susurration.
Oh,
Just
no.
completely gets out of this play.
Oh, that's just Doom.
Oh, no,
Susurration!
Susurration! Hello? Brother man, come on.
Oh,
He
he's
has
still
this
going.
now ultimate. He's still going.
He
I
wants
mean,
this.
Galio can start to hover on this bottom side. There's no Hui ultimate, there's no Xin Zhao, and there's no Seraphine ultimate. He just goes
Oh,
for
he
it.
does actually hit the Seraphine into it. Can he get one trade back? No, the flash is there, and Gnar just keeps going.
All right, a comedy of errors coming out from some of our teams here. Susurration, I get it. I love that you're trying to really kind of squeeze as much out of that play as possible, but just a little too much. Your team's already winning on the top side of the map. You're getting turret damage on top side. You've already gotten yourself the Herald. You're going to be able to get more gold for your Kog'Maw. Your goal as the top laner,
Oh my god.
don't die, don't lose in this instance. It is huge for them.
Seraphine actually died to the turret.
It's an execute. It's okay. It's a fast back. We got Hui solo gold on the turret. We take those.
So the over-under has been hit, Mr. Ulk. 3 minutes. Conveying phase ends before 15, you know?
Okay, but this was like this was solo kills in top lane. We were talking about solo kills.
Okay.
And
No,
and
I was talking
like,
about general deaths.
No, okay. I thought we were talking about like our top laners fighting, and I would maybe even say like, okay, look, if their junglers came, I would accept that as well, as long as they were still kind of laning against each other. But we didn't really get all that much, and it seems like I'll give this to you, especially as a guest to the show. We'll have you as our winner for our over under as to whether or not Susurration is going to die with 2.5 deaths when we come out of laning phase. So right now we're kind of seeing them. They still haven't taken this top tier 1, which I think is really problematic. I was expecting for them to try to use this on the Crash, but instead they're saving it. I expect for the Dragon that's coming up in minute 30.
This is problematic for Gragas, actually. He just keeps going forward and doesn't respect, but that's a TP match right now. Wait a second, we have a party here in the top lane. That's the flash of Mumu! And Seraphine will not be able to drop her song!
That's a huge win, I think, coming out from the side of Elysium.
Oh,
They get
Mumu!
Elysium here. Oh, the GOAT! He's a Mumu!
Oh no, but the Mumu
What are
gets
we doing?
followed! And he's still not... Oh my god, wait a second, the Mumu's not...
He's got
dead.
hands!
Oh my god, the Hui ultimate hits outside my window!
And Susurration is now
from
TP.
Nar!
There it is.
Oh my god, this is a doomed fight!
And they're going to chase them out. Elysium Ares are playing so well compared to their opponents. Grown Boys Clique. I said, okay, last week the excuse was that they had a couple subs. So playing against 60% of the original roster, that happens. But this team is just not working right now. Shanku, the damage isn't there coming in from mid lane. Our jungler isn't able to get much done. And right now, Nightmare, I mean, missing a few too many of these abilities right now. That Hui ultimate is game-changing when you're in such a small choke point like that that part of the jungle. So very, very suspicious here, I think, and especially with how strong OP kill switch is right now. He is putting on a clinic throughout the jungle as the Amumu. Now they're going to use this. We talked about this earlier. They didn't use this on the top tier 1, so instead they're going to play for this dragon. Instead, playing through mid, they want to try to grab this turret. Immediately, BBC are already on the dragon, and they've even called down Nutty.
Oh, wait a second,
This needs to
Amumu?
be a win for them.
Never mind, he takes negative damage. My bad.
But what are they getting for this? Like, GBC, we're doing nothing. Our jungler is getting poked out. We're going to lose access to this. So not only did we lose mid-push versus them, we've now also lost control of the pit. We're not even farming waves. We're dropping all these side waves. Xin Zhao has all 6 of his camps up and available. Why did we pull down our top laner here to try to keep for this play?
Hard
It's
too
a
as well
massive
because
win for Elysium.
Zint still doesn't have upgraded smite. It's so hard for him to actually contest. He just now got it. And I think they're actually going to go for this. I think he's going to go for the steal. They're doing as much as they can to poke. But I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, they're just not going to be here for this play. I mean, Elysium kind of need to know that they're in a deficit, that they can't just keep trying to brute force plays. I mean, 98, that TP is just way too early, and they never were able to fight towards mid. Yes, they saved their mid-tier 1. Thumbs up. That's great for you. You lost out on 3 or 4 waves. Finally, you're moving Shanku into the side lane, and with the Mala, should be able to take this, but I mean, you're just missing out on a ton of gold and experience, and you're also just giving away summoner spells to your opponent, which is a very big win for Elysium, considering coming into this game, what did we want to see from them? For Elysium, we wanted them to get more of the dragon stacks, we wanted them to make sure that their jungler was in a good spot, and for GBC, it was this focus on playing around top side, getting those
no.
This
This is really bad for Gnar. If he can be able to fight it, can he get the Gnar bar? Our stun is there, and it's not enough as Rigor Mortis is here to make sure Yone will not fall. But Gnar just goes in again and just disrespects.
Susurration. That's a Susurration play right there. So, dies on the side lane. It's going to turn into a top tier 1. We'll see what they're able to do. They're trying so hard as Elysium Ares to try to get this mid-tier 1. But with Nightmare, with Hui and Seraphine, it is so hard to get push out. Maybe after Kog'Maw is able to get like a Runon's Hurricane or is able to finish something that increases his wave clear, that could be something we see. But until then, you are almost never going to be able to get wave clear as Elysium Ares in mid until you call over more members like the Mumu, like the Galio.
And if it's an even state, this is really bad for GBC. Because the more even the state is, the better the Kog'Maw is in the terms of the gameplay. Because
the thing I'm worried for is my Yone does no damage. My Yone's already finished his main item, which is Borg. And I'm seeing 0 kill threat onto our Kog'Maw.
my Yone has Mortal Reminder coming up. But right now only has the Executioners. Would not have went with that first, but
My eyes.
it is a cheap
My
item.
eyes.
It is
I mean,
cheap, even though
sure.
Seraphine can proc it a lot easier than Yone can. But
Well,
I
you're
understand.
not really, you don't really, I mean, the difference in Last Whisper items is so negligible, it's 10 AD. Like, this item doesn't matter. Like, you should almost
It really
always
just
be
depends on
going
how
for
much you
Mortal
auto
Reminder.
attack. If you can auto attack more, Lord Doms is the answer. If you
It's
can't auto
10
attack as well,
I think
Mortal.
I think 10 AD, if 10 AD is what's winning you the fight, I don't think it's Lord Dominic's that's making the difference there. I think you just have an overwhelming advantage. The
Oh,
difference that
wait a
makes-
second. We're actually engaging here. Yone just ulted onto the Gallia, who is taking 0 damage.
Alright, and they miss out on the wind becomes lightning. We got a TP coming
Oh,
in.
the stun still hits, but can we trade here? Can Rigamortius get the trade? Seraphine is still here, but now here's the door. It's a party in the top lane, and unfortunately, Crow Boys are not ready for this one as Rigamortius will
What the?
flash.
What? What? We know Emilio's there. Why are we making
Oh,
this play? It's gonna be 3 kills. It's gonna be the Baron. Right now, the big thing for GBC is that Nightmare is trying to get as much gold. This is what we talked about coming into the series with the head-to-head. These 2 AD carries, usually the more consistent members for Dark Lord Oswald is making sure that he's getting gold and getting experience, but now his team is completely collapsed around him for Nightmare. It's Nutty Nate and Nightmare against the world right now.
Oh, and Nor's just spacing him out, making sure he breaks all of his boots, but it's a TP from the Yone. I don't think Yone still has the Fates Unsealed. This is a really bad fight if you want to take it. Yone does miss the E over, not able to really take it. Amumu doesn't have the smite yet. It's still close right now, but they will secure it. There is the Fate from Hui. They will be able to burst this Gnar down. That's going to be at least 1 trade kill, hopefully. And Yone gets it, so your goat got it. You know, that's a good thing.
Why are we not turning there, right? Like, Gragas just used his E. We know that Yone doesn't have ultimate. If that's the case and my Nar's getting taken down, we still have all of these great
Oh,
abilities.
Nutty is still going in!
Yeah, he's just dead. He now has no flash on Gragas. Very big mistakes coming out from the top laner of GBC. Just not really getting anything done. And Nightmare's going hunting, but you're 45% HP. I'm pretty sure you get dog walked by Mumu right now. For the time being, because they're able to chase them out, they're going to take away some of their jungle camps. It's going to be a small bit of reprieve for GBC, but they really got to get ready for... Honestly, if I'm them, give up this dragon. Take all the jungle camps, make sure that you're pushing out your waves, finish all of these camps are available. Again, Xin Zhao's about to have 6 camps up on his side of the map after stealing 2 of them away from Amumu. This is not Soul Point. This is not a dragon that you need to fight right now. You're down flash on your Gragas. I think this is a moment where you're totally okay with just farming it out, pushing waves versus Baron.
Oh. So Mortal Minder is completed for the side of Yone. Not exactly
I mean, look at enemy
ideal.
mid. Look at enemy mid jungle. Look at the people who you're going to be hitting, right? It's going to be double Hollow Radiance. A lot of, physical damage or a lot of armor they're going to have to chew through. I'm not a huge fan of this either. I think if you're going to be inside lane anyway as Shanku, it's fine.
So Hollow Radiance is actually the MR Sunfire.
No! Alright, Shanku,
Yeah.
then we just failed. Then we failed. We failed the item.
So that
Sorry.
is a Mumu with MR Sunfire. Oh, wait a second, the flash is not enough for the Hui, and he's gonna be focused down, and the Amumu finds the angle still! And there is the heroic entrance coming in, Rigamortius will fall! Oh, it's
Okay.
a disaster.
It's a really strong game 1 so far coming out from Elysium Ares. They still have the Baron. They made a great play. I think that's the first heroic entrance we've seen all game.
It is.
Tough Daddy has been very, very selective with his Galio ultimates, and hey, chooses to make a very big splash in the mid lane. Gets 2 turrets for them on this Baron push. Their Baron should be running up this wave, or the next wave coming up are going to be the last ones that they have available to them. They just took the dragon. I think for right now, they should just take their gold, steal some of the camps, and then look to reset and push on side lanes, collapse towards mid, and look for the next play. Because right now, GBC just completely out of it. It's a very minuscule gold lead, but we're talking about the mechanical misplays. Gold can't fix your hands, unfortunately.
It's also the mental warfare of this game as well. Like, just if you click tab, you know, in your way, like, your mental is kind of questioning, like, what went wrong this game. Like, the enemy Amumu and Galio built for me and Seraphine and Gragas, and my AD damage dealers are not having the good game of their lives right now.
Nope, they are definitely suffering. And also, if you're a Nightmare, you also don't have a ton of damage. Like, Blackfire Torch is eventually going to get you to that point, but doesn't have that same amount of damage that maybe you would get from something like a Leandri's. Also, Seraph's, while having a lot of AP, is also more so the utility item of having the shield. Finally is going to be getting the Blighting Jewel, which can be Crypt Bloom. I think you're probably going to want to pick up a Void Staff, but Crypt Bloom's active is really strong. However, how many kills are you actually getting in this game? It's 5 to 11. I think the fact that you can't burst through these frontliners and you can't really kind of get that damage down, we've just not seen Nightmare, despite what his soul laners are doing. Maybe onto Galio?
This is a decent play. They waste a lot of ultimates for this. And here's the heroic entrance again! And Yon walks back into it, but Amumu could fall. There is the melee ultimate. The TPs of both teams are coming in. This is the fight that you need to win if you're GBC. And it's still not going in your favor. You got the perfect pickings for it at the start. But Hui would fall as well. Not able to get a trade back. It's a triple for the Galio. And now Seraphine is going to get ran down.
Yeah, we had big question marks here for Tough Daddy. We were like, why is there a Galio on R5? Is this going to have that same impact? And so far, him and OP Killswitch have had a game of all time right now. They are so tanky that it is impossible for anybody on the side of GBC to kind of bust through that front line. So now what they're going to do, they're going to take some jungle camps, they're going to braze all of these turrets, and I think, Glorsnax, we've got our game one kind of wrapped up in a nice bow for us here. This game is completely cooked from the point of view of GBC. It is so hard to come back in this from this point.
It's tough too, because that was the ideal engage of like trying to pick anybody. Unfortunately, you picked the tankiest member on the team to engage on, right next to the Amumu, and you can't burst him because Yon doesn't have any burst. Xin Zhao only has the Hydra and a Tunneler or the Warhammer. He has no burst at all. There is no sustained damage. It's a Echoes, Seraphine. It's hard. It's really hard to burst.
I think it's non-existent now. They've kind of spent all of the goodwill of being able to try to get into a winning spot. Again, the kind of big thing for me is if they can make a miracle play, you know, maybe OP kill switches on a recall and they can try to find Dark Lord Oswald, that'll be a shutdown that they'd be looking forward to. But as is right now, I know it says 7,000. That gold lead is past 10k at this point because there's XP that we're talking about. There's the dragons that they've been able to get. And with what their champions are actually able to kind of do in the game, it is so difficult for them. So instead, I think this is the right play. Don't try to team fight them right now. Play for the side lanes, get those objective bounties, finish off the side lane turrets, because one thing that you can try to combat Baron with is by pushing their waves so far deep onto their side of the map that they have to spend, you know, the first 30 or 45 seconds of their Baron to actually push out waves. So pushing out on all three waves, getting gold for the carries, a great job. Look at what they do in mid lane. They push through mid, get the TP out from Tough Daddy, and then collapse towards bottom lane to protect not only Nutty Nate, but they can then collapse and get 4 men here. Yone is still split pushing and has TP. They're going to be seeing a play around this dragon. It's because it's the soul here for Elysium Ares.
Yone did TP without spending any of his gold though, so it is still kind of a weaker Yone. Amumu could just straight up melt it as well. The rest of the team Conquest is
there. It is!
Oh
wow!
My goodness! This man's heroic entrance is enough to fight them all with the Amumu flash! And this game is over, ladies and gentlemen. Pack it up.
Just put them in the bag, bro. Just go ahead, GBC. It's gonna be a Baron, it's gonna be an Ocean Drake, and it's gonna be a Game 1 Nexus here for Elysium Ares. Insane team fight coming out from them. They get the Amumu ult, the Galio on top, the Gnar to set it all up alongside it. Just a beautiful team fight coming out from them, and I mean, JBC have looked lost all game long. We saw the top lane plays, our two top laners playing like absolute psychopaths. We had a bottom lane that was really heavy on farming, but really for me, it's this big jungle performance coming out from OP Kill Switch, who again, on the Amumu, finding engaged time and time again.
Actually will get bursted out pretty well. Can they actually make a defense here at the Nexus? They're actually onto the Kog'Maw, forces him to flash. The taunt will still find him though, and one Nexus tower does fall. But GBC actually won't be able to hopefully defend here, and they will. The game's not over.
All right, but they've got another minion wave, and guess what? There's still Baron to play with, and those ultimates are starting to tick. Again, 34 seconds before Sean Ku is up and available. Another mini wave that they have to deal with in mid lane, and there's Ocean Soul, so they can just stay here constantly.
Oh, Amumu goes in, forced to flash out, does not have it yet, does not have Curse of the Sad Mummy, will go in again on Amumu, but Rigor Mortis is just dead, and now there'll be another follow-up as Neighbor's trying his hardest. The Gnar will not fall this game. Knight will get shoved back in, and it's a kill under the Nexus. It's a 4-0. And all the deaths this game go onto the Gnar. Everyone else, a perfect game for Elysium.
Wow. All right, so Susurration is the problem, I think is what we've decided, if we're looking at the KD break here. A fantastic game all around. I know we were having a little bit of fun with the top laners here, but a really good showing for Elysium Ares, who are on a 4-week win streak right now. And for GBC, they're starting to slide through the standings. They're a team that we're expecting to see in playoffs, but are currently, they're 3-3, and if they lose this one, right now we're looking at playoffs at week 7. 3 wins is probably going to be our benchmark to make playoffs. And if they're going to lose, we have to expect one of our 1-5 teams to potentially make an upset. They're playing, some of them are even playing up against each other, so that's going to be them moving up to 2 wins. And that right there could start to put your season at jeopardy. But we're going to take a break, and when we're back, we're going to be getting ready for Game 2 of Grown Boys Clique versus Elysium Ares. Don't want to go anywhere.
Now let the hunt begin. Yeah. 7,000 souls scared and daunted, such a tale of woe. Not too long ago, this village was a golden scene of hope. Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our glory to live forever. Yeah, bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer. Yeah, I am the light bringer. Now listen, fellow warriors, I ask you, should my campaign come to an end? There's way more to avenge. Whoa! 50 million souls living in this realm without much hope. Not too long ago, this kingdom was a golden state of hope. Yeah! Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace, restore our glory to live forever. Yeah, bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal power. Lead us to order. I am the light bringer.
What's next? All right,
Welcome
we're good.
back.
Welcome back, everybody.
Yeah,
we got
we're
game
good,
2
we're
here. Grown Boys Clique versus Elysium. Elysium taking an incredibly dominant game 1 victory, and now we've got ourselves here a second draft, a potential here for Elysium to hopefully take a 2-0. We were talking about this before the show, but every week since week 2 has been a 3-game series for Elysium. GBC, they're a little bit hit or miss. Sometimes they have 2-0, sometimes they go to 3, but Elysium consistently, it doesn't matter which teams, they always go to 3. They have a chance here to break that trend. They can go. Don't do it. Tough Daddy,
No.
we talked about this on Otter
No.
Talk. Please don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
You're just telling me during the break that they'd love to go Vigar and troll the game.
No, it's not that they love to go Vigar. It's just that everybody else picks Vigar, and it's really garbage. And now Tough Daddy's doing this to mess with me. So I'm not gonna even grace this champion. I'm not gonna look at it. So we're getting
Oh my god.
a champion that is a 2 to 3 role flex. We haven't really been seeing a lot of people play Smolder in bottom lane, but Susurration is a big Smolder player in top lane, and Tough Daddy also has picked up the champion, so really excited to see what they are able to do with this, especially with, again, in our Fearless draft, we have Yone taken away and out of the pool so early on.
Yeah, let's Smolder. V1 Smolder.
If you're the better team, you should always just pick scaling. That's just how I believe. If you believe you're better than your opponent, they need to execute something earlier than you can actually win the game. And
Okay,
in this
but we
series,
saw this guy
just
play
saw
early.
BBC. I know. I wish I didn't see Susurration on Smolder. I'm really hoping it's Tough Daddy in mid, because this guy, for the most part, is able to kind of pilot this champion at a reasonable level for what we expect. And see, here for GBC, they're going for the Ashe and the Renekton. So already, I think I kind of like this core. Again, Smolder, the infinite scaling possibility they have there. But GBC already, you have topside Renekton to be able to play for Prio and can try to play for all-ins with your jungler. And Ashe, theoretically should be able to allow for engage coming from the AD carry position. So really what I want to see is maybe you can go with Ashe, some lower range, higher damage champions, you know, those melee bruises that we were talking about. It is going to be Ornn here, so we're getting probably a Smolder mid.
Okay, that's a lot better. Another thing, though, you can go here. I would actually like to see the Sedge for the side of Renekton Ashe. I think Sejuani actually helps out a lot here, and is able to just provide you that front line that is very hard to kill, right? Also provides your Renekton with a lot more utility than, you know, Renekton just Renekting. You know,
Just
EE.
Flash W, easy.
Yeah.
Outplayed.
So I think it's...
Oh, we have a mispicked. All right, let's see it. Come on, it's Lilia. Okay, so it's a Lilia. So right now for Elysium, they have Smolder, Ornn, and Lilia, which already against GBC, I love it. GBC do have some answers they could try to go for. I like the Sejuani as a potential answer. The thing that's kind of worrisome for me is then we don't have any ways of actually being able to stun a Smolder, which is where something like a Nautilus does come in. And Nautilus was banned last game, so that was a champion that we weren't able to see. But Sejuani, I think in a lot of instances, turns into, you can ult someone, but it's not, I call it fake CC. Because in theory, theoretically, in the perfect world for GBC, if they do have the Sejuani, they can throw the ultimate and you're going to try and land it onto Smolder, but there's no guarantee. You can have the Ornn stand in front of it. You can have whatever engage support that they're probably going to be picking here for Elysium. So not going to really be picking up their jungler quite yet. For GBC, the things that are available are going to be potentially their mid, if we're expecting this Renekton to be going top lane, and their jungle. And since you do know that it's Lilia, there are only a few answers. Already, I think Sylas starts to really call out to me as a potential champion here to steal for GBC.
Really?
I think getting Ornn ultimate and Lilia ult would be really OP. Lilia ult maybe a little bit less so, but the Ornn ult already is really big prio. You don't have a Braum to be able to stop Ornn ultimate, so in my eyes, if you can't stop it, take it. And if Elysium are going to continue to... You could actually go for Sylas on 4 and potentially try to hide this champion, but we'll have to see. A lot of engaged junglers already gone. Poppy, Jarvan, the Vi as well here for GBC, so kind of a lot of options taken away. I think I would prefer if they try to blind their mid laner here and try to look for either, again, that Sylas flex. We do have a couple of Sylas jungle players here in BOL, so wouldn't be surprised if that's where that goes. If we get it.
I actually think we could go Aurora here, actually. Aurora does a lot. Is able to instantly always get on the Smolder, always trap him in with the Lilia and all that, and we have another mispick.
It's Lee Sin! Nice! Alright.
Lee Sin?
We have Lee Sin on 4. So they're going to just pick the Lilia just to, kind of put it in the system. I don't know. It seems like the browser is bugging out as it is frozen here.
Yeah, it's frozen for me too.
Yeah, so I think currently Giraffe is having some issues. Okay, they're flipping through champions right now. Very funny. So they're just gonna kind of hover it. Apparently they can't click something going on here. Unfortunate. I'm hoping that we can try to get this fixed, but again, Giraffe is its own separate kind of entity. Okay, so it seems like it is moving. Already, I'm gonna be honest, Glor Stacks, I really hate this GBC comp now. I'm hating it the further we get in.
It's Lisa, the blind monk, Yanko's played this once, I think.
The blind, the blind jungle.
Oh. So unfortunately, from how the first game went, I wouldn't mind the Lee Sin. Unfortunately, this guy played a tanked matchup into you and was up 40 CS constantly. So now you pick Lee Sin into Lilia, and Lilia is one of the best farmers in the jungle still currently. And you have to exert a lot of pressure as Lee Sin in order to counteract her.
Exactly. It looks like they're going for Rel. We're kind of just going off of what's happening in the lobby chat, so thank you for everybody for kind of bearing with us during that. I mean, not only is Lilia one of the fastest farming junglers, but she is also so strong into a low damage, not a ton of great CC, a low range composition in particular coming out from GBC. They have some good upfront damage, but the sustain is just not there. And now we're in a position here, Glorsex, where I don't think there's going to be a ton of people who can actually deal with Smolder unless Lee Sin makes some absolutely god tier plays. You're not going to be winning the jungle matchup either. She can just, with Lilia, kind of fish for damage versus the Nautilus and Renekton. This R5 has to be huge for GBC, or we're going to be seeing Elysium walk away with one of their first 2-0s since week 1.
What do you even go here to round
Not
out your
LeBlanc.
comp?
It's not LeBlanc, I'm telling you that right now.
Okay, if it was a LeBlanc, I'd be a little interesting, as the Varus is locked in. So, a really good bot lane, actually, for the side of Elysium. I like the Varus Rel a lot. It really helps you just, like, be able to do more against an Ashe Nautilus, right? It's not an instantly losing matchup. You are able to contest the Ashe early game dominance with the Varus. One of the few champions who can. Is that a locked LeBlanc?
Yes, it is. I think that is. I think it's a locked LeBlanc. Okay. So now we kind of have our compositions. Sorry for everybody that it's a bit jank on the screen, but we did end up getting there. Like you were saying, Varus giving them some ability to actually try to play against Ashe in the laning phase. Rel, great setup. I think Rel, Lilia, Ornn is such good engage for them for the side of Elysium areas. GBC, again, this is a composition that we are expecting them to outplay in the early game. You have Renekton, who should be able to get Prio versus the Ornn. We do have this Nautilus, who throughout the entire game can just press ultimate on the Smolder, but we need to see this Lee Sin LeBlanc combo take off. Last year in summer, one of the few games that some of the teams at the bottom of LPL, anyone's Legends, versus when JDG was by and far away the best team in the entire world, this is how they beat them. They played Lee Sin, LeBlanc, and they just ran the map, and they just tried to 2v2 all over. Obviously, that was a 1 game out of a best of 3. JDG still end up winning, but this is basically GBC saying, okay, Shanku, you did not have the greatest Yone game. You need to win this one, especially in a fearless format. If you lose on really strong champions like Quay, like the Yone, that's super harmful. Those are champions you can't play, and those are the ones you're kind of expecting, hey, we should win with this composition. These are champions that we're going to win with, and then we have a secondary draft prep for us.
Yeah, so LeBlanc is a much easier time, now that the Galio's gone. Unfortunately, LeBlanc into the later stages of this game is going to have a really difficult time walking into a Lilia Rel Varus comp without trying to get hit with anything.
Yeah, so that's why we need to see GBC win topside specifically. They need to get 6 grubs. If LeBlanc can be on a side lane, she's one of the more potent side laners as a mage. Typically, when we're talking about mages, one of the trade-offs is usually they're not very mobile, they're not very good at being able to push a side lane without maybe someone shadowing them, but LeBlanc, notoriously difficult. We're talking about like trying to, if you're a jungler, and you're playing against LeBlanc, your mid laner is like, can you gank? You look at your mid laner, you go, I can't gank LeBlanc. This champion is notoriously very slippery, and if they get 4, 5, 6 grubs on the side of GBC, then we can start to see LeBlanc later in the game play on side, because there's no one that can really play by themselves. And especially with some of the AP changes, we're talking about changes to Storm Surge and the like, and AD items just in general getting nerfed in their gold and how much they give you. Smolder can't play on side lane by himself if there's a LeBlanc there and they have grubs. So big eyes for me on Nutty Nate. They need to come back in this game. They need to come back in this series if they want to try to put up a series versus Elysium Ares.
I personally am with you. I'm holding your hand, Alk, okay? We are in this game together, okay? We are manifesting. We are manifesting a complete early game win for GBC. Otherwise, past 20 minutes, this game is insanely difficult.
Alright, so we did this in the last game. Let's do it this time. We have LeBlanc versus Smolder. Now, Smolder, not the strongest laner. It has not a ton of damage. Sustain is not really there. LeBlanc, typically an early game bully. Let's put a timer on them. So, let's say 14 minutes. Grubs are down. Over under 3.5 grubs for GBC.
Ooh. I'm actually gonna have to go under. I actually don't
Yeah.
think they get 4.
Yeah, in theory, this should be a situation where in theory, we take nameplates off, top side should be winning, or Renekton is getting prio, we play for grubs, we get it done. When we put nameplates back on, however, this is a similar situation we had in game 1 where we were saying, hey, we really love GBC's comp, they just didn't execute. So I am going to be the hopeful one. If you're going to go under, I'll go over. I'm hoping that they're able to kind of put up, and Nutty Nate has a much better game this time around with his new jungler, Rick and Bortis.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
And loser has to watch what does loser have to do? Loser has to watch baseball. I'm just kidding. I know a certain Mets player is watching.
Yeah, I was going to say, no one wants to watch baseball. That's okay. For everybody at home, we're going to kick it to a short spectator delay, and when we are back, we're going to be back with Game 2 of GBC versus Elysium. Yeah, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to cinema as we officially start Game 2 of our series. Elysium, the Game 2 merchants, I've been told, are going to be going ahead and going off against GBC, who have a much better early game comp, as we do see the 5-man invade into the bot side.
And early wards, look at how much respect. I mean, Hooked on Flays gets an early ward down. They're going to get all spotted on this ward. Just watch this. And Rel just got like a million vision score at 50 seconds in the game. So swap to sweepers. They all know they're invading. And look what they do. Tough Daddy moves in to try to protect the Raptors. Dark Lord Oswald's also going to move out of the way. What a great start for them. And really dangerous. You already see here, OP Killswitch gets a jungle ward on enemy red as well. So they'll have perfect vision as to where Rigor Mortis wants to be able to start here.
Not exactly ideal start, and the I think there is a problem with that LeBlanc skin. Is it solid for you in the back?
Solid?
Yeah,
Oh,
look at the oh,
it's solid
oh.
on mine. She has all of her particle effects on mine. So, sorry for everybody who's on stream. You can blame Wookie if you want. Wookie Monster on Discord. Let them know that you
Please at
wish that
Wookie
they're-
Monster in the BOL official Discord.
Yes,
actually.
correct. Yes, the more you harass production, I think it's actually for the better. Just kidding. For Tough Daddy, though, do you see what item? That is a very greedy item to be taking early game. Shanku's got the Ignite, has the Electrocute, and we have Call mid. Oh.
Okay.
And he gets spotted! No! Rigor Mortis, we can't do anything here, man! No! We're gonna have an early split map here. Their bottom lane has to be so careful. If you are Elysium, you let your bottom lane, you let the wave crash into you, and you're just saying, okay, cool. We're gonna play for the bounce back. We're gonna have our jungler get really
Oh,
far ahead.
no.
Susurration.
Yeah,
This is fine though. His
unfortunately,
jungler's here. His jungler can be here after these Krugs.
if he wasn't there, it would have been horrible. But thankfully, Lilia is ganking already.
And,
Yep,
oh, he just
and
used
Nutty
the
Nate just
he
goes
is
in,
dead.
and he gets pushed into it. He has the bird flash if he wants to have a chance to live. Can he trade back one? Does not have the Q back up. Flashes forward. First blood gets the auto off, and now Nutty Nate. Can he get the W off in time? Can he get it? The flash is there as well. OP Killswitch will get one.
Okay, and there's a play on the bottom side. Rigor Mortis goes bottom lane after clearing 3 camps and tries to make the same play. Isn't able to make much happen there. It's a good start. I mean, yes, it's the first blood going over to Nutty Nate, and obviously Susurration losing out, but going even in that side, you still have the rest of Lilia's camps to be able to make this play happen. And right now, the big thing that I'm looking at is mid lane. We have Grasp of the Undying. This is a rune that's obviously been in the game for a while, but is a new piece of tech for a lot of mid laners. We've been seeing things like Ahri, things like Smolder take it in matchups that, yeah, you're going to say, look, like they're going to be playing a Burst Mage. Well, guess what? If I have an additional 100 HP, if I can get some healing, that's going to be perfectly fine for me. And the longer this game goes, we already said the scaling advantage is in their favor. Well, there's just another piece that kind of adds on to that.
Oh man, that was so unfortunate. If OP Killswitch actually missed that flash there, I think Renekton gets the W off, and it's an actual double kill. But that would have been true cinema. Unfortunately, Tough Daddy is actually winning these trades. Surprisingly.
Hands on him. Damn, put the hands on him. That's crazy. Good job for him. Again, what we are looking for from the side of GBC is, can they actually leverage their mid 2v2 kill pressure to turn into an advantage? Now, this is a potential where, hey, the mid wave is currently under the turret. If Shanku really wants to, drop a distortion, go for bottom lane. Look at where this wave is on bottom lane. Our jungler is already in position. They're probably going to be able to get at least a summoner spell out from this bottom lane if they really try to coordinate this perfectly. But aside from that, the longer it takes for the side of GBC to get something done, the better it is for Elysium.
Oh, Nautilus is really looking for it. He really wants to go in. He is itching to go in. He is itching
I'm about to
press
crash
Q.
a wave. Just wait, man. Look, we're playing for Respawn Raptors. Like, just play for the bounce back. The wave is going to crash. It's currently frozen in front of their turret right now, but it's eventually going to push back. Lee Sin is constantly kind of bouncing between mid and bot lane, and if they can just wait, get the wave under the turret, then play on the dive, it'll be so much better for Grumboy's Clique.
It would. Unfortunately, it is a faded Ashes already started for the Lilia. It has been nerfed, of course, because
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
Hey,
my Ornn actually misses everything here, and it's a really good trade for the side of Nutty Nate. Okay. I
So-
see him cooking.
now, right now, what we'll see from OP Killswitch is, because he knows the top side camps are up, he should be looking to try to cross through mid or even protect his mid laner who just TP'd back into the wave. Shanku's really trying to greed. It's 50 gold left. Actually, he already has 1,200 gold. So he should have enough for Lost Chapter now that it's 1,100 gold. He should be looking to try to get his recall, but he just doesn't have a timer. This is one of the things when you don't have teleport, you really have to be particular about when you're looking for timers early on.
Oh, this is a really bad fight to go here, actually. This could be a Tough
Yeah.
Daddy solo kill. Can Shanku survive? Does not get the chain off. Oh, Tough Daddy has flash, Q ult. Oh my god, Nautilus went in.
Oh, I mean, it just doesn't matter. I mean, look at what's happening now. So Shanku is going to get this wave crashed into his turret. He's not going to be able to get back in time. It's going to have to force Rigor Mortis to pick this up. And, excuse me, wow. There's just not much for GBC to do. Like, they're just not playing on the correct waves. We're not seeing Shanku and Rigor Mortis actually link up. It is all on Nutty Nate now. You're the one team. They're like the one lane that is like constantly able to apply pressure. They're looking to try to get themselves 3 grubs here.
I think you get it. Lilia's not even worried about it right now. The next set of grubs, though, is the contest grubs.
All right. Good job from Orm. Just uses the ultimate. Recognizes we're probably not going to be team fighting for this dragon anyway, so utilizes his ult to just try to get that wave in and take his recall since he doesn't have teleport anymore. All right, we're at that over-under part. Currently, we're under, but we still have another set of grubs here, and big spot for Elysium Ares is all of their members have taken their recall here. They're going to be really strong coming back out on the map, and it's going to be on Shanku and Rigor Mortis again. How much can they get done? I love that Nahor is already here, trying to get vision, trying to spot out where OP kill switch is.
Again, another just bad trade for this LeBlanc. It's not really able to hit a lot here. Is this a fight? This is a fight.
This is a fight. They have Rel. They can also use the Lilia sleep as well. They've got Tough Daddy with this ultimate. I mean, so much possible for him. Like, Shanku is just getting owned in mid lane on repeat, but despite all of that, because they were able to get their support to kind of move on down, they got early vision. They're going to get 3 grubs and the first Drake. A big win for Grumboy's Clique.
Yeah, actually, that's ideal. Completely ideal how you want this early game to go out for you. It's just they don't respect your push as well. You just keep them stuck and frozen in the lanes, you know, trying to push as much as you can. Yeah, actually, both going correctly. Ooh, we even get to see the little special animation.
Hey, I mean, it's a good job coming out from them. They made sure that their timers were great. I think specifically Nahor dropping the wave a little bit earlier so that he can move with his jungler is so important. Being able to get vision on enemy jungle, it means that, hey, now, if I'm OP Killswitch, I'm like, okay, I know that Lee Sin and Nautilus are in my jungle. There's not much I can do here. Tough Daddy has to use the flash, so he's out of mid lane. And Lilia, I think, may have to make a visit to the top lane right now, as this wave is going to be meeting in the middle. Susurration's already half HP. Nutty Nate has to be so careful here. They're making a play on bot side.
This is a really bad call here. Rel just went in completely by himself, and there's the flash for Rigor Mortis. Varus flash is over, but questionable.
Oh, he's just dead. Why is he stepping back up? Wait. Don't step back up now. You're just going to die. They just wait on the crash. Rigor Mortis can literally spam emote taunt on you, and it will not matter. That was a great setup, and really, I mean, if you're Dark Lord Oswald, you have to flash preemptively so you don't get kicked there, but they're going to make the dive happen.
Was not able to use it. Can he get the trade back? No! Oh, biscuits!
45 HP on this Nautilus before he is able to escape.
Oh man, biscuits are OP.
Yep, and while this is all happening, Lilia's picking up more camps. She's stealing them away, already getting that farm advantage, already has a level lead for themselves. You saw the pings come out. Shanku, he was getting pings saying, hey, we need to be checking for where this Lilia could be. They're going to now spot her on this red buff. Has to be able to get away, should just be able to get out now.
Oh?
Okay, gets the flash. Susurration's coming, but that's still a pretty big win. Taking 2 camps away, and you still have some camps. You have your camps. You have a respawned Raptors camp that you just stole away from Rigor Mortis, and you have your own, which they're not going to be able to get. So Lilia has now gotten 4 uncontested Raptors, which is huge for an AP jungler.
Oh man. Well, it's not the ideal early game for the side of GSC.
As good as you can get. If
But this
you're
is as
looking
good as you
outside
can
of
get.
jungle, if it's outside of jungle, maybe even Nutty Nate right now, Nutty Nate can actually, when he waits for some of his cooldowns, can actually look to try to force Susurration's flash out. But if you are on the side of GPC, you're not mad about with this early game. You got 3 grubs, you got an early Drake, you got some kills from your bottom lane. I think you'll have to take that. We want to be nitpicky, but I'm okay with that kind of trade.
Oh, no. Of course. It's still really good. The only unfortunate problem I see now is, Lilia actually doesn't have the first item completed yet. Shanku does go in, does miss the E again. But now actually gets his passive force. It flashes it forward. Shanku is able to jump out of it, and Rigor Mortis is here to make sure he won't fall.
That was a really well played. I know we've been kind of bagging on Shanku the past couple games, but Shanku right there, making sure that he gets the trade so he can force out the flap coming out from Smolder. So now with that out available, there's no flash on the Smolder. They make that play really well played by the mid jungle here. It took them a little bit, but 11 minutes in, they get their first kill onto Smolder, and now they get the 6 grubs. So that over is going to be kicking in. 6 grubs for this team is so massive. We talked about it during draft, but it now allows for this LeBlanc, if we get later into the game, if we have, you know, a little bit of isolation, she can be a huge split push threat. And we're not even talking about that. We want to talk about the here and now. Renekton hitting on this turret, if Susurration is not careful, his top lane turret's gonna go completely missing.
Ooh, it's, again, just really bad trades. I do like the Black Cleaver first start. I really think that that helps push you forward more in this matchup as well as now Shanku. It's a nice little trade. Actually procced that whole trade through the bone plating that time.
Yeah. Really
this
impressive.
time was not saved by it.
So has to be careful. You can already see Tough Daddy is like, he's already mentally conditioned to just think that Lee Sin is sitting in that brush. He's like, okay, I have no vision on the top side. The thing that I'm kind of noticing, and wait a minute, top lane.
Wait a second, can he get the? He has to force the flash here.
Good.
Oh.
And now he gets alone time. They've got 12. It's 12 minutes. Shanku's also here. They're going to get a plate here for Nutty Nate. They're playing this so well right now. It took them a little bit of time. They eventually got to their wave states, but they've been whittling away at Elysium areas and their resources.
Oh, Shanku going to take a nice little trade again. Gets the proc that time. Now we're back again. The same spot.
That's what I want to see. I mean, this is what you need to be doing. Your support should be moving out of the lane. We need to be seeing Hooked on Flays get out of lane so much more. Tough Daddy's just dead here. It's a single combo here. Tough Daddy's just going to use the ultimate
drops
save.
It. Can he actually get a trade back onto Shanku? Is it enough? It is!
Wow. So it's not a stacks, and now they're making the play on the bot lane.
Okay, but both ultimates do unfortunately go wide here as Ash is just trying his hardest to delay as much as he can. Rigor Mortis gets the flash in, and that's going to be a 1 trade kill back for the Lilia. But the rest of the team is here for GBC.
Oh, Susurration.
Susurration is just having himself a game. Rigor Mortis just going for Flays as much as he can. We'll be able to hopefully get it with the Eclipse still there proccing. Ornn is just getting beaten up, put into a corner, and will not survive a 6-0 Lee Sin to start this game off.
There we go. That's what we wanted to see from this team, and that is 4 for 1 in that trade. They make that play in mid. They were able to kill Tough Daddy, and another fight kind of spawns as they're trying to catch out Nightmare. Nightmare says, okay, fine. You want to kill the lone Ashe by themselves? That's awesome. You've now used all of your abilities. You can't even stop me. Susurration misses out on the R2, so he's not able to land the knockup, but even at that point, I just don't think it matters, right? They already have gotten a lot of the damage done. So many damage members have already been taken down, and that's another dragon. So in terms of early game dominance, 6-0 Lee Sin, like you were just talking about. You have 6 grubs now in their back pocket. The first 2 dragons of the game. GBC are looking more and more like that early season self that we saw from them, and I hate to say it, but this is again another game too where Elysium Ares look like garbage. Like, for the most part, their game 2s have not looked that bad. They typically are very strong, sometimes are able to contest with their opponents, but they always make some kind of mistake, and this time around, Susuration's getting completely manhandled in this matchup, and I mean, Tough Daddy, while he is eking out small advantages over his opponent, it's just not enough, and you are playing Smolder. There's only so much that you can do as,
another re-engage, no cleanse!
Uh-oh, Nightmare's dead. Alright, well,
he made it close, though.
Okay, I mean, it's a kill. It should be them taking away more and more of these jungle camps. It's going to be a Rift Herald here, which is pretty big. Again, 6 grubs plus a Rift Herald. This means that turrets are going to be paper mache in 3.5 minutes time. You can even set up to make sure that you get yourself the soul point. That point from Nightmare, though, that might be something that kind of haunts them, is how much damage can they actually get down on this turret? Your point as this Ashe is, hey, I can wave clear from far away, you just have to not die. And unfortunately, going down there is going to get a little bit of gold back there for Elysium, but still, very strong spot if you are the GBT team.
It really just does not change a lot here, as now Mom is called in as there's 3 mid, and they will just get this tower completely without needing it. So they already got mid tower without dropping Herald is really bad, because it just makes it harder if they do drop the Herald that time. Shanku going for the solo does not get it. I don't like the Herald drop this early, actually.
Uses the Ignite. I agree. I obviously had just set up that we were talking about, hey, maybe we use it before the Dragon to try to make sure that we always have mid contest, but really what I think this is supposed to do is have Shanku unlocked from mid lane a little bit earlier. We already see Nightmare picked up this bottom lane wave. He's going to rotate towards mid, and they're going to put Shanku on the bottom lane. This also opens up Nahor to roam, go through mid, push mid, and then look to get more and more vision. I think he's been really excellent this game on this Nautilus so far, just getting down a lot of vision. Something we haven't really seen from Elysium Ares this time is there's just so much fog of war that is unlocked for GBC, thanks to how much vision they have.
And you know, like we did say the first game, like about OP kill switch just getting ahead of Rigor Mortis. This game, it's fine, honestly. Yeah. If you're down 30 CS, it's fine, because honestly, you're 6-1 or 6-0-1. You are pushing this tempo completely by yourself. You are the tempo.
Yeah, I mean the gold lead, I mean the CS lead also needs to be contextualized, right? Like it's 30 CS, or it's 40 now, but it's 40. But also the enemy team got 6 scrubs, and they got the first 2 drakes, which is way more important for the game state than just getting an additional 10 more camps. So Hooked on Flays is going to be here to protect the bottom lane wave. They also can force a TP, but it doesn't seem like they're going to be looking for much. They're going to get called off with Hooked on Flays here, and they're getting a lot of vision. Again, these are more camps here for Lilia, and if they can't get anything down in mid, then hey, that's a big win for them.
They get the force the cleanse. Night bolts. Oh, Shanku's just going back up again.
Okay. And they're making a lot of plays. They're split mapping. They're forcing this map to be split vertically, where the top side of the jungle is all of Lilia's. Rigor Mortis controlling his bottom lane wave. And I love the split that they have going on here. Protecting this Smolder, the person that requires the farm a lot more and is a little bit more...
Oh, the sleep is in!
Wait? What are they doing? Okay, Hooked on Flays is here. Nahor's gonna flash. He's just dead.
But he just...
Big mistake coming out from the side of GBC. It's the cleanse they got earlier when Dark Lord Oswald used the ultimate, and now it's the flash from this Ashe. These are two players that we wanted to see kind of excel. We were just talking about how important Nahor getting vision for his team was, and Nightmare, we talked about it in the head-to-head a little bit earlier, but I think during the Otter talk, but these AD carries are supposed to be more of the consistent members. Typically, players are not played around. Shanku flashes out. Big trades coming out right before the Dragon. Now, without the Lilia sleep, I don't know if they're going to be able to really contest for this play. I mean, yes, LeBlanc can kind of get back to this a little bit faster, but Asholt is going to be up. This should be a very good spot for GBC, considering what's been spent.
Considering my Nautilus was kind of giving them a freebie to give it back, Lilia is starting it, though. This is a contest. They are going to fight this. Nautilus is back up, but the Dragon is just slowly dying. 6k, 5k.
Ashe ultimate on the
Lilia. Can we go in on this? Lee Sin will go in now, forces the flash away. The double TPs are here. Okay, first 5v5. The Ornhorn is in, a huge wall ultimate going in! And that's gonna be a disaster fight for GBC so far! They do secure it, but right now, it's 3-0. Rigor Mortis goes in, can't even get one back, finally does! But it doesn't matter, Shanku is the only survivor! Oh,
and they're gonna hunt for it. They're gonna get it. Okay, that's Dark Lord Oswald going down. That's 1 kill for him. That's 2 actually. So it's a 3 for 5 at the end of the day. The Dragon still goes over to the side of GBC. I gotta say, it was a Pyrrhic victory. It's a shutdown that goes over to the Lilia. So if the Lilia was ahead before, she's sure as hell now. That shutdown is 800 gold. And, you know, we were just talking, hey, you're 40 CS up. Without that shutdown, he's actually down gold on the Lee Sin. So because of that, he's only 200 gold above. It's going to be a turret as well going over to Smolder. A big swing here in the game for Elysium Ares.
Oh, what a horrible, horrible fight ending there at the very end. The Ornhorn finding 3, but the Rel is really the MVP of that engage. Just finding 4, trapping them all in, so the Ornhorn is just perfect as well. And like we said, like we did say, Elysium, the rel pick here is insanely good during draft. It does help a lot with the rest of the team.
Susurration, you can't be here, brother. It's not your wave, not your timer. They're calling in teleports here. Shit, I mean, it's just, literally, it's just, oh, I don't know where that Ashe ultimate was going.
Oh!
Susurration doesn't matter. He's so tanky. He also has ultimate. They're going to try to play for this turret. They want to make sure that they have prio, but look at what they're losing in the opposite side. They're making such a big play for this top side. They lose access to mid wave, the bottom lane as well. Nutty Nate is going to continue to push his lead.
Oh, making Drowsy's come in. Wait a second. They called this play Rigor.
No, sus! And because of this, again, 6 grubs, bottom lane, Nutty Nate just evaporates this turret with 6 caster minions as well. A fantastic play. I mean, a great gambit, I think, if you're on the side of GBC. You're saying, okay, cool, we got teleport out from enemy mid. We also were able to get Lily asleep. That's perfectly fine.
Oh, but just anti-synergy happening right there.
Yeah, if Aura Ultimate didn't deal damage, they'd be OP. It'd be OP there, because the sleep wouldn't be able to wake them up.
I think if Ornn ults before the Lilia sleep fully finishes, it's a lot better.
That also. It's just them not being able to coordinate. Now, Tough Daddy by himself. Rel is starting to make that move over. They should have seen the ward there, but there's a small time where Rel is not available. Ashe ult as well here. Oh, they played the wave.
They want this. Tough Daddy. Shanko will fall.
That's
this
one.
Is the Nautilus ultimate dread line. Can he get more here? He is still alive. Tough Daddy is just surviving so much.
Okay, and not only did they pull that, but that's a 1-for-1 trade. They're able to do this and now push on mid. How much can Elysium Ares actually get here? Because Nutty Nate could just press the ultimate. He has the Sterex as well. It's just going to be a demolish proc. They have 3 members. They just evaporated that turret. Okay, so it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade, all in all for turrets. If we think of the bottom tier 2 that got taken, Lee Sin is going to be finishing off this top tier 1. Still up in gold here, but the game is getting tighter and tighter between these two teams. And if you missed it, I mean, Elysium Ares always goes to 3. For GBC, if they win this game, they'll be tied in terms of series score. They obviously would have the head-to-head versus Elysium Ares, who is currently 5th. GBC are 6th. The points difference, if this is a 2-0, they would have the points lead and the head-to-head, which would be massive going into playoffs, considering we want to see, and I think we are expecting from what we've gotten all regular season long, these two teams are going to be in our playoffs.
Oh, but that's a horrible trade. It is, at the end of the day, because that gave Smolder his mana immune. At the end of the day, it's just... GBC, with the early game lead they had, it was 3-8, and now it's 11-12. The lead has slowly disappeared. The Ashe does have Kraken and PD, but where's the damage coming in from that? All your damage right now is Lee Sin, Renekton, and LeBlanc.
My damage. I'm going to keep it a stack. This is why, you know, Ashe is kind of super powerful, not only for the flex that she has with her, with being able to play in bottom lane and support, but, I mean, she just offers you engage from the support position, and LeBlanc is a champion that doesn't typically have a ton of engage tools. So they'll see this TP here. Susurration, they want to play for this dragon. Again, because of the fact that Elysium Ares were not able to contest early on for Drakes, this means that every single 5 minutes, you have to show up for this objective. You have to be ready to play for this dragon. Otherwise, it's an Infernal Soul, and we talked about how much damage they lack. I mean, hell, this Ashe build will do enough damage if you have an Elder Soul, or an Infernal Soul.
We're playing Flippy right
They're not noticed here.
Oh wait, they just got found out right now. Nutty Nate is going in. That's going to be a huge cleanse going in right now. But the Ornn Horn is sounded, and it's a 3-man with the Lily asleep. And they are just wiped from the map. It's only a trade on the Smolder on the other side. Rigor Mortis has the flash. He is the only survivor of GBC. And again, the flank has been sniffed out entirely, and GBC loses 4 again for the Dragon.
That flank looked so good at the beginning because they were able to isolate Tough Daddy. Rigor Mortis kicks him away. He's able to isolate this Smolder and kill him. But like you said, it's that Lily asleep that just does so much work. OP Kill Switch has now put in 2 separate games of just dominance from the jungle. Just a masterclass right now. He was a little bit softer in this game, but that Amumu game in game 1 was excellent from him. And now they not only got the Dragon, they got 4 kills in their back pocket, and it's going to be the Baron here started up for the side of Elysium Ares.
It's a bit of a disaster masterclass, if you ask me, for GBC with how this early game was going. Nahor is just constantly going in, trying to give Rigamortis an entry position. Can he give it to him? No, it won't matter. But you will trade Sir's life. Oh? Ah! Will you?
I mean, he does not care, bro. He does not care. Ashold?
Oh,
okay,
no,
maybe he's carrying.
dead.
He's carrying. He's carrying. Leave him. Let him die. Let him die, boys.
Oh, can
The
he?
fact that he's almost going 1-for-1 with Rigamortis is a little suspect. And the fact that he has a shutdown for some reason, but whatever, right? This is still a very fine game to be in. Tough Daddy has the execute on the Smolder. They got the Baron on 4 members. We wanted to see a little bit more coming out from GBC. With this win for Elysium Ares, it would comfortably put them in the 5th place spot. They'd have to try to fight Mars on the 4 wars for potentially that 4th place spot, and that right there is going to be a little bit more dangerous. Their upper competition right now, breaking through that crust, we're looking at Final Boss Diamond and Omega Goobers, who are fighting for 2nd and 3rd. It's a tough climb in playoffs, but right now, Elysium Ares, they're going to be on a 5-week win streak if they're able to win here, which is really impressive. I know a lot of people are talking about the rest of the league, that the fact that Akuma has not lost a single game. They're 7-0. They're going to be 7-0 if they win this week as well. Like, they're on a 7-week win streak. Elysium would be on a 5, which is really, really good, especially when you're talking about the back half of a regular split.
It's a bit of a mental damage as well, this game. You know, like I did say in the first game, you know, when you are losing these games where you are, you know, supposed to be ahead early and you just fall behind completely, it's really damaging to trying to keep your head in the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, they've got Baron. They're pushing on all the waves, and what we wanted to see from this team is utilize your solo laners, leverage them to be really strong side laners, and make sure that they can try to push on the waves with 6 grubs, but they're just not pushing fast enough. And also, I think Shanku just needs to kind of call their shot. Just say, look, I'm playing for my advantage. I want to be able to play for this. I need to push out this wave, and then we can collapse in on mid. Give up the mid tier 2. Who cares?
The Orn Horn forcing the Ash Flash, and that's going to be 1 dead Nautilus.
An execute. That's a sleep. Timer's getting ran down.
Nightmare. Oh, okay. And they are just getting run down in their own base. Rigamortis is trying his hardest to stay alive here. And this game just went from a great early game. They were up 6 grubs. Like the hopefuls were screaming that we forced a game 3 here. And the choir has been silenced as this Baron push will pretty much just secure the end of the game for them here. OP Killswitch had himself an amazing game 2 as well. Just keeping up tempo-wise. Almost flamed Horizon Rigamortis this game.
All right, and that's going to be it. That's going to be Elysium Ares with their first 2-0 since week 1.
Final fight. Can he do enough? 90 days.
It's just Tough Daddy and the executes. And that's going to be it. It's going to be a 2-0 for them. It's going to be them moving up in the standings. They're going to be now 5-2 coming into week 8. A fantastic performance for them. We were a little worried in that early game. The first 15 minutes, we were like, okay, maybe we're going to game 3.
Wow. I mean, that's just a heartbreaker. Honestly. That's what that is.
It's a heartbreaker for GBC, but I'll take that. I'll take that if I'm Elysium Ares, especially when we're talking about moving into playoffs. This is the kind of series I want to see from them. You're not going to be able to win every early game. There's going to be teams that are going to draft early game compositions to try to play around topside. These are the conditions that you need to be able to play around. And while I think GBC didn't execute every piece of it correctly, you're going to be in these spots in playoffs against the top 4, top 5, top 3. You need to be able to play back and find your way back into games. And that right there shows a little bit of resiliency and really kind of gives me a lot more confidence in this team heading into playoffs now that we're in week 7.
And Tough Daddy says in the chat, hey, we got Smolder. Who cares about early game? True.
Not wrong. So, Gorsnax, is there anything we want to say before we close out the show for Blue Water League Diamond?
Don't feel disheartened, GBC. Stand proud. You fought well. The second game was going in your favor. The potential was there. Just know that we are happy that we got the curse broken and the win streak continued as well. But Don't worry about it too much.
All right, and I want to thank you, Glorsnax, for coming on and being able to substitute while we're waiting for Isaac to get back. Wookie as well, thank you for being able to produce both the Otter Talk and the show. Couldn't be possible without producers like you. And the rest of Blue Otter League, whether it's the people who make our graphics like Pop-Tart, or if it's going to be anybody else that hangs out in the Diamond General League, or just, and is here for the content. Really appreciate you guys. This show is not possible without the players and everybody who kind of supports the league. So thank you again, and that's going to close out Blue Otter Week 7. We have a lot of games still kind of going on, but next week we're going to have a lot of bangers, and we're getting closer and closer to our playoff series. So everybody, be good to each other, and have a great night.